do the show and we'll fly. You don't have to feel like you're on your own. No one should have to dance alone up tonight. You and me, we're gonna write a little history. You and me, just show me love and then you'll see. Memories that we make, they are never gonna fade for a lifetime.
They're looking to take out Bifrost first. Wadu, big shot onto Bifrost, the first one out. RISQ, on the other hand, are making a push onto Uncrowned. I think our end, this push is well timed. They know if they stay there for any longer, they will lose the hit points, hit point pool advantage, and our end are retaining that hit point pool advantage. As Uncrowned is out, and Lisa will not be long for this world. Crash is out, but RISQ have lost 2 tanks. Oh, good ram from Towster. Oh, Towster receives a couple of hits. I think RISQ lost the initial advantage. Great shots in the trading at the beginning, but our end made a comeback. Silver is out, and the guns are hugely in favor of our end. They have 6 tanks, while RISQ only have 4 tanks alive. But Wilder was the next tank out. Sugar Beam goes down, and the 3v5 goes down to Towster, and Trash takes a big hit onto that, but that takes a fire again. Oh no, he has no repair kit. He's not long for this world. Smart Potato looks to kill Trash. It's 2 versus 2. Oh, this is going to be interesting. However, Towster, F-Silver is going to get out of this. Potentially trapped. Good shot onto Towster. Tiopa looking to come around the other side. Lisa is the focus for our end. Now the Crown Bargains are going to be on a long reload, and they don't have a lot of DPM. Well, our end, however, they have DPM. So Lisa goes down first, and Dad is going to kill Towster, but he will be the focus for our end. Down to 1 shot now. Hit points are in favor of our end. Dad is out. It's a 5 versus 6. RISQ tanks that are sitting behind ID. They have not ran away. They have not run away, which means our end have found Frozen. That is the focus here. Judgment and Trash are looking for Porieka next. However, Towster is out, and ID could be looking for point kick shot. Hit points still in favor of our end, but they could very well get a Porieka off the fight. Hit points are shared evenly for our end, and ID. They will lose Porieka now. Strashly is on fire, and Poikishore puts another one onto Strashly. Strashly cannot extinguish the fire just quickly enough, and Poikishore is killed by fire. And the MLEs are coming for Strashly, and there goes the kill onto Strashly. It's now a 5 versus 4. In huge favor of ID, as they only need 1 kill to win this one. However, if they lose Porieka, they will need 2. They lost Porieka. C could be captured. Iron Breath tanks down to 1 shot. And this is still really close. Our end, can they survive? They're now looking for Fan. They're now looking for all the kills that they could do. And they got Fan. 965. Iron Breath tank needs to survive, but LDS will get the kill. And C is still being captured by our end. AB are still under the hands of our end. All they need to do is to get Fresh Nobody out of the fight, and our end gets the win. Oh, but it was so focus for most of the RN's tanks. And Ponce now taking out. It's now 5 versus 6. Our end, can they ride these out? They now have the hit point pool advantage, and now looking for Mr. Insane. And it's great job to our end. The focus fight is great. Mr. Insane is out. Wadu is out. Alright, we'll now go for Porieka here. And Fresh Lemon is down to 1 shot, so it will be point kick shot that gets the kill onto Fresh Lemonade. Uncrowned. They will lose judgment very quickly. A will be captured by Towster, and that will flip things round. A will be captured, and now Wilder will get a cap start on C. Oh dear, if RN lose another tank, it will be all over. All over for RN. They cannot afford to lose a tank right here. But at the same time, ID cannot afford to lose Strashly. And Strashly's down 994 cap points. RN just need to survive. And they will win the tiebreaker 4-3. At the same time, Nomad have captured B and they're pushing on the Spectre. This is all about Nomad reacting, but did they not have the cross the lines of fire? Hinter dropping the tungsten shell, but Nomad are missing a lot of those shells. And Spectre is now very, very low, and ID are in good situation. Spectre is the first tank down, and Nomad looking very disorganized at the moment. Mr. Insane is a focus for Nomad. Nomad are now trying to focus on to these two VKs here, but Optimus is very low. Optimus is the next tank down. X4 definitely the next tank down. But then there is 2v2 going on there, so they just have to coordinate really well. Maybe 2-3-3 as Campo has now come in, takes out X4, Porielica down 4 versus 5. Nomad still trying their best with the focus fire, but ID simply, I think their movement's just a lot better. Fan is out. A good movement, but I don't think the push is. No, their push is not like well together. As TDR is apparently the first tank that has gone to deal with Hinterter, and TDR is now down to one shot, and he's now the first tank out. So it's really not a good start for Nomad and ID now. With that crossfire, it's going to give them a good hit point pool lead. Hinterter is down, but Optimus is going to be the next tank out. Nomad are now trying one shot, gets taken out. The next focus will be Uncrowned. Judgment is out, but Uncrowned bounces. Campon takes out the Strift Ks, and Wadu and Uncrowned are looking for LDS, and they took them out. But ID took LDS Uncrowned out of the way, meaning it's a 3 versus 5. ID, that good start is just it's enough to give them the win. RN again, those bounces might have been provided an opportunity to fight back. Iron Brat Tank is now out. Uncrowned is now out. So ID have now made a comeback. Kudro is now terribly isolated. Strashny is down to one shot, and LDS takes another hit. Now the Judgment will come in to take out Strashny, meaning Alpha would try to put a shot onto LDS point kick shot. Quite low in hit points, but it's a 4 versus 6. It's looking very promising for ID. Looking for Berlin. It's now a 6 versus 5. Berlin is now out. GV, they do not have the hit point pool advantage. And of course, as I said, they are not as good in the brawls as ID. ID are better in this respect, and GB are probably better with the strategies and caps. And now Tokyo is going for Campon. The Optic 7-7 sets camp. So far, ID are trading much better than GB. And Berlin takes a lot of shots. Great job to both Fan and Campon. Berlin's in deep trouble. Good shot to Campon again, but I can't. Oh! Berlin gets ever wrecked. He's taken out sooner than I thought. But he's pretty much pincered, to be fair. And now that means GB has to do something. They're now going to make a push, but they do not have to consolidate. Hinterter flying off and looking for Berlin. But it's now down to, it's now the focus for ID. Porielica, good shot onto Berlin. Berlin's down to a one shot, potentially frozen. Takes out Berlin, and it's now 7 versus 6. And GB, Tokyo, it's now the focus for ID. And Tokyo, can he put a shot onto Campon? No, he couldn't. And it's now a 7 versus 5. Professor's down to one shot. 6 versus 5. ID is going to send everyone victory out of the fight, pretty much. Monaco, big shot onto Hinterter. And Hinterter is down to one shot. Toku's out of the fight. And Hinterter is also down. GV, they still do not have the hit point pool lead. Monaco is out, and I think ID are going to win this tiebreaker. Fans down to a 2-shot. Doha is the focus, on fire. The fire cannot be extinguished, and Doha gets the kill. Oh, I didn't actually catch on to this. Porielica has been boosted up. Oh, I love this. I love this. I am sorry I didn't follow the boost, but Porielica seems to have a bit of a fail here. Couldn't go anywhere up. It's going to relocate a little bit. Follow Porielica for a moment. ID as well. I mean, with Porielica up there, they get a cap lead. That's good. but RISQ are able to bleed. Zonk is out, and F7 will try to get C. Lisa takes out Berlin, and Doha gets taken out by Sugar and Mugu with victory, trying to get Lisa. It looks to be a win for RISQ. Great job to RISQ. Great shot to victory by Sugar Mugu. And he misses the next one. Lisa is going to reload. He doesn't want to fire too early. Waiting for the second shell to load. Now, we'll put 2 shells. Have made a great idea to push onto Berlin. We kind of missed that. But RISQ are definitely having more numbers near the bridge side. They need to take out Tokyo. Or focus fires onto Tokyo. Oh, look at this focus fire. Amazing stuff. They're going to go forward, but we've lost Mud Potato. Zonk, great shot to Monaco. But it's now 5 versus 7. Great push by RISQ. I love that push. That was well timed. RISQ was able to focus fire really amazingly, despite their tanks kind of scattered around the map. So, again, RISQ have done a fantastic job. But GV, just like the first battle, was not far behind at all. Now, B has been captured, which means RISQ just only needs to stay alive, and they will win this one. Oh! Oh! F-Silver! You hero! Great kill onto Berlin. So RN's push onto Pookie. Oh my god! Cujo! Oh, get double racks. Mud Potato. What a shot that was. Pookie's going to go down soon, but Lisa's fully reloaded now. RN, this push has gone from bad to worse. RISQ just needs to pick up the pieces. Pookie is out. And you don't want the full hit point Amarek at the start of your push. This is going to put you both A and B. Oh, Nikolai takes a lot of hits. Down to 961. Oh! Already the first tag out. Nikolai. Oh, must be raging. This is not a good start for EVG. RISQ has already taken a tank out of the equation. So 7 versus 6. So far so good for RISQ. They need to keep that up. And EVG could still have the hit point. Cap point. RISQ needs to kill two more tanks. Oh, F-Silver bounces the last shell. Oh no, Mud Potato is out. But oh my god, it's also out. RISQ needs to kill 2 more. Nitroglycerin is out. Ram killed by F-Silver. But it's 3 versus 2. I don't know if RISQ can get Pixel Rage quickly enough. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. F-Silver receives an HE track shot, and then RISQ. He needs to stay alive. We'll put a bait one onto Horn. And Horn is now on fire, down to 1 shot. He can't ram kill Horn, but Horn gets killed by Lisa. At least it's the 7 versus 5. Well done to RISQ for that pincer movement, and Laos seems a bit flustered here. Super Unicorn is now out of the fight. 7 versus 4. Laos will need to start killing off tanks, but no one. As Rooney is going to be pushed by RISQ, and he's going to go down very quickly, down to 1 shot here. Laos, they don't seem to have a response to that, and Rooney will go down to Lisa. Zonk looking for another tank. Big shot from Smurt onto not found. Laos are falling behind in hit points. RISQ, they're holding it up really well. But Pookie will need to start coming in potentially. But he has shots. He might need to go some. Oh, might be in deep trouble. And another big one from Zonk onto Deep. Deep will not last for long. I think this is going to be the opportunity for Laos to make a push, because Deep is not going to survive this. Deep is down to a 2 shot. Now down to a 1 shot. Going to go down in any minute, and now Laos are not pushing. They are receiving a lot of hits. Deep is out, meaning but RISQ has decided to push the mouse. Huge opportunity for RISQ to push now, for Laos to push now, because the mouse is getting the focus. They're now going to take out Smurt Potato, but there is only 1 tank play against Smurt. Oh no, there is not found and Deep dealing with Smurt, but the mouse is not going to last for long. Laos is the mouse is, oh my god, mouse is out. What they're trying to do now is to make use of the hit point advantage and take a smack potato. He's dropped a reactive armor. And he's out. He's the first tag out. And look at GB going straight in there, trying to get Sugar Mugu down. And Victory puts a great shot. And Professor is the focus for RISQ. This is all about focus fire. This has to send it into Doxton. And Professor is the next tag out. And GB are trying to get Elisa. This is the next time they want to go through. But Monaco is the focus for RISQ. And the hit points are now in favor of RISQ. Sugar base shot. Oh! Monaco gets an ammo rack onto Lisa. What's an ammo rack? That is Pookie down to one shot now. Not good for RISQ. They've lost an important tank. Berlin is out. I think RISQ really needs to get the focus fire on point now. They're trying to get Monaco near their spawn, and they're now pushing, but they have taken a couple of hits for pushing. Big shots onto Mr. Insane. Oh, it's a good start for GB. And they're now trying to counter push onto Fresh Lemonade with Monaco now in deep trouble. Professor needs to come in to save Monaco. Big shot to Boreanica, but Monaco do not have a lot of hit points. Oh, a ram here. But will Fresh Lemonade be taken out? I think it will be the case. Monaco is out. Tokyo is still really healthy. It's going to be really close. GB have got all 3 caps. Is there still time? Is there still time? Strachey's down to one shot. Monaco needs to get a shot in. He got the kill. And now Monaco gets killed. But that was an important kill. Strachey hinted down to one shot. Hinter gets killed by Victory. Great teamwork from GB. Now Rome still full health coming for Fan. And I think they only need to kill one more and kill the tank, but they do not have the hit point pool advantage. And definitely not the cap lead. Big shots onto my data. Wow. Great crossfire from GB, and now EVG are pushing in. They're looking to kill Doha. Doha is now down to one shot, and GB are looking for my ping. Berlin is capturing B. Doha is out. Professor's down to one shot. Who will reload first? Is it Professor or is it my ping? Put a shot onto Type 1. That's a good double tap here. But Berlin will not survive for long. Tokyo is going to stay in the desert side for now. GB are going to push through B. Looking to get nitroglycerin out of the way. Good shot from Berlin onto my ping. Love that he goes back up on top to survive. Professor is now in focus for EVG. Professor is going for dripping. And can he go for dripping before he goes away? He cannot. Early on. There we go. 2v1. Type 1 does 7A in deep trouble. Big shot onto Rome. Rome drops the adrenaline and the tungsten shell. Berlin. Good shot onto Type 1 does 7A. Can Type 1 does 7A survive for long enough? It's a breakthrough for GV. Rome misses the shot. Berlin. Good shot onto Type 1 does 7A. I would imagine Type 1 7A will be down to one shot if Rome manages to penetrate that shot. Now Rome will try disadvantage is going to haunt them. Rome gets a kill onto Sure, and he's going to run away because Scrooge is going to get a good shot onto Rome, but maybe he's managed to run away. Oh, Gisela is dead. 3 versus 3 now. Hip was still in favor of GV. GV might get away with this. Oh, DRX. You need to start killing tanks off here. Negative is down. GV's making a comeback. Can he survive? Monaco will go for C. He will get a cap up, but Tokyo is going to go down. I think this will be enough to flip the cap points. Dorobert's going to go down, but GV needs C. GV needs C. As B will be captured, and the cap points are still in favor of GV, but they could lose B anytime. They need C. Oh, I won't say so they need C, but Scrooge gets B. Rome gets B. But that will be enough. They got enough kills. GB got enough. It's going to be hugely difficult for them to get a kill. Oh, Biscuit takes a lot of shots from GB, and is the first tank down. This push from Nomad doesn't seem to go as intended, and they aren't able to find a tank to kill at the moment. Coke is looking for Cologne, but he bounces the shot. Nomad wants Berlin off the fight first. And Berlin is going to be the focus for
With the autumn season drawing to an end, RISQ won the title and marked a complete change in APAC Clan Wars scene, as they came first in 3 out of 4 seasons in 2022. They arrived in 2023, with many expecting them to dominate the server. Fast forward to the current season, they achieved 4 consecutive title wins and won 5 out of the last 6 seasons. It was unprecedented, but let's rewind the APAC Clan Wars history in 2023. In 2023 winter season, a new format was tested. Unlike previous seasons where clans earn cups in order to qualify for the professionals tournament, this season the clan had to finish in the top 2 in their group on the second day of the qualifier tournament for the APAC server. The first qualifier tournament saw Wise, with many from RN, GV, RISQ, Boon, Last, Zarso, many from GRS, Nomad and EVG qualify. The second qualifier tournament saw EA with members from Riri, ELS, RSOC, SZ, 7simp and Rats qualify. This left us with 2 more spots left to go, and a last chance tournament was held. In the last chance tournament, we saw DT and UQ occupying the final 2 spots, with Leave finishing 3rd. Unfortunately, this wasn't as simple as we thought. A couple of days later, Talian, the current tournament manager of World of Tanks Blitz, found rule violations for some of the UQ and Leave players. As a result, another last chance tournament was held to determine the final spot. UQ re-registered by removing the violators, but eyes were on DGS, HPG and UX to fight for that spot too. In this tournament, PZTH came out of nowhere and knocked out UX and favorites DGS, then came to UQ with a fight. If they qualify, it would be the first time they qualified to a top 16 stage, at least since 2020 autumn. In the end, they succumbed to a heartbreaking 3-4 defeat to UQ, and the latter securing the last spot in the Professionals tournament. The Professionals tournament consisted of 2 groups of 8 teams, with the top 2 advancing to the final stage. Group 2 looked to be the more competitive group on paper. RISQ were predicted to take one of the spots, and the second looked to be up for grabs, as GV, Nomad, EA and Sartso all finished in the top 8 last season. But GV came through with dominant performances and actually came first in the group. GV continued to grow, knocking out EVG 4-3, then Wise 4-2, and were prepared to challenge RISQ. In the grand final, RISQ won with a resounding 5-2 victory. It was a great season for RISQ, but a promising season for GV, as they didn't come top 4 in the previous season.
There is nothing much they could do here. Should give me a great shot onto Monaco. That's a miss from Monaco. Shugu, great shot onto Monaco as well. And Monaco is out of the fight. RISQ wins the Blitz Masters Winter Season 5-2. Huge congratulations to RISQ and huge commiserations to GV.
Coming to the spring season, Wargaming announced that the tournament format used for the autumn season would return. The format was not changed. It worked well for the APAC season, so I was pretty excited coming to spring, as I became freer in real life. Unfortunately, this season marked the withdrawal of several high-profile teams. Notably, a lot of Japanese clans dropped out. RN didn't return, GRs were out, SZ and DT appeared to have many going to RSOC. In addition, although EVG returned, they play with the ICT team from the Chinese server. The players from last season either went to Liber or other top teams, or just took a break. There were several transfers too. Many of last went to SDIJ, which was then renamed to E2s in summer. A lot of players from 7sim went to insert with the letter I, and those from Blitz went to the other insert, number 1. For EA, a lot of them joined NQRY. Many of HPG went to KWG. On the other hand, we saw a large influx of Chinese teams from the Chinese server. We talked about ICT play under the EVG banner. They were one of the best teams on the Chinese server. Then we had TSIA. SPZ and XPT were also Chinese, but all of them played on APAC server before, under EA and Low respectively. The spring season marked a big rebuilding phase for the APAC server, as we saw lots of newer teams. Nomad created an academy division Nomad and debuted in the spring season. Scam, RISQ made their first appearances. UX and Sorcerer both appeared in the winter season, with most from Sorcerer from GRXT. They continued to build their team coming to spring season. The top 8 fight in the spring season was very close, but 5 clans were pretty much safe in the top 8 throughout the Pro-Skill tournaments. They were ID, RISQ, Nomad, GV and SDIJ. Anchor and Y were also always in the top 8, but coming to Pro-Skill number 4, they had a chance of falling out. The last 2 places were up for grabs basically. What followed was perhaps the most dramatic final Pro-Skill ever witnessed. Before the first day of Pro-Skill number 4, the final 2 spots in the top 8 were XPT and Nomad. In order to be safe in the top 8, they will want to finish first in that group. Below them were Insert, EVG, RSOC and SPZ, all looking for a top 8 spot. I was following group 2, which had Nomad and SPZ in the same group, and it was super close. Unfortunately, SPZ didn't win against Nomad, which put them in a really tough spot coming to day 2. XPT lost to SDIJ and Nomad lost to Lemur in the grand final. However, Insert and RSOC both won the groups to put them in the top 8. It was as if we have found our top 8, but all hell broke loose on the final day. On the final day, I followed group 4, which had RSOC directly competing with XPT. Insert were up against Nomad and SPZ. The upper bracket first round saw a shock result, as Insert lost to UQ in the upper bracket first round to face Nomad, which meant Insert's chances in the top 8 were in huge jeopardy, as Nomad was firmly in the top 8. RSOC won against XPT 2-1 in a spectacular fashion. I don't know, this is getting too close for comfort. Mo has to put a shell in. Great shell, 1 shot only. RSOC. Mo has to stay alive. Can he do that? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. This is so close. 2 tanks are down. Oh my god. H5 is really trying to stay alive for as long as they could. RSOC, can they pull this through? 985. RSOC protecting Habs. RSOC, get this. Oh my god. Things were not looking good for XPT at all, as XPT lost the first 2 battles against TSIA in the lower bracket first round, as XPT looked like they were not going to be in the top 8. I think he's also waiting for the reactive armor to come alive. Now the reactive armor is here, but who is going to reload more quickly? Is it Operation Overlord or is it Jono? It's going to be Overlord with that kill, and TSIA leads 2-0 against XPT. Match point to TSIA. Then came an epic comeback to win 3 in a row to keep their hopes afloat. TSIA started the first 2 battles so well, but XPT gained momentum, and now XPT are back in the fight. Great win by XPT, such an important win for XPT. 3-2 against TSIA. They have qualified to a lower bracket final. Meanwhile, Insert made an upset to beat Nomad and keep their top 8 hopes alive, as they met UQ again. This time, they didn't want any slip up. At the same time, RISQ lost to ID and faced XPT again. This match proved to be the most important, as the gap was small enough for XPT to overtake RISQ. If XPT beat RISQ, it turned out to be a one-sided affair for XPT.
RISQ, can they do this? I don't know. But XPT will be very close if winning this one. Now, RISQ is very, very low. And XPT are through. 3-0 against RISQ. RISQ is out of top 8.
XPT knocked out RISQ. They were high in spirits coming to the grand final. They were momentarily in the top 8. Little did they realize a challenger was lurking silently. EVG came second the first day, but they beat Lemur and SDIJ simultaneously and advanced to the grand final. Should EVG win again, they could usurp XPT to take the final top 8 spot. Meanwhile, Insert qualified to the grand final to pretty much secure their top 8 spot. And what came in the grand final was perhaps the most mind-boggling.
ID will take double their stars, a 2684, a double mouse of VK, and an object 260.
ID took Death Stars? No way! This would seem like a huge opportunity for XPT to deny EVG, but...
Where's Legolera? Big shot onto Legolera, onto JTFK, and Legolera will get the kill onto JTFK. Legolera and Death Star. Big shot onto Manhattan Cafe. And that would send Manhattan Cafe to a one-shot now. Ayaka on Adrenaline and also Tungsten Shell. Can Legolera go into... Oh, great kill.
XPT was shell-shocked to say the least. ID denied XPT of a group win, unfortunately.
EVG 3-1 against SDIJ. That puts them...
EVG won, and the worst case scenario was realized. XPT didn't qualify to the top 8, and EVG snatched it at their death. This final day was definitely the most dramatic I've ever seen as a commentator. Then came the Professionals Tournament. Without RN, GRS and EVG for winter season, the 4th spot appeared to be up for grabs. First match day ended with GB, RISQ, Insert and Nomad in the top 4. This included an upset Insert winning against ID. The second day saw GB, RISQ, ID and Nomad in the top 4. ICT were known to be one of the best teams on the Chinese server, only managed to pick up 1 round win so far. They were close in being eliminated. They then won 2 in a row to put them at arm's length, while ID, Nomad and GB were not safe yet. Coming to the final match day, RISQ were up against EVG. It was super close, and EVG won in the end.
Lucky Laomi are now going for B. Sugar Mugu try and get a reset shot potentially onto B. There is a cap stop, but if TJY gets killed, that will be it. That will be it for RISQ. Good reset shot onto Sugar Mugu. I think this will be very crucial. If Sugar Mugu survives, that will be enough. Maybe just enough. I don't know. They're still really close to call, but it's not going to be enough. ICT 4-3 against RISQ.
Only for them to find out. Both GB and Nomad won, since ID won 4-3 against EVG. They knocked out EVG due to the tiebreaker rule. Meanwhile, XPT, despite coming close to top 8, got knocked out on the first day of the Challengers Tournament. Lemur, with many from E7, P and EVG from last season, also bowed out on the first day. Perhaps the most surprising was that Tugo qualified to the lower echelon championship despite playing only the first previous skill tournament, and came second to UX. In Challengers, SBZ won against RISQ to get the title.
SBZ, this one is a lot more convincing victory for me. They certainly deserve to win this one. And both of these teams say GG's, but back to the drawing board for RISQ, unfortunately. SBZ, well done, and getting winning the Challengers Tournament 5-1.
Then came the final stage. GB was building onto their success last season, and they started by beating ID twice 4-3. Nomad came top 4 for their first time in history, which was an incredible feat for a relatively new team. Unfortunately, their performance drew criticism and sparked a long discussion about the prize pool distribution amongst the 3 servers, to which Wargaming didn't make any changes. It was an ill-timed coincidence when so many of the top APAC teams didn't partake in the spring season. Nevertheless, we saw a repeat of RISQ against GV. Only this time, GV came a lot more prepared, and they got an advantage in the early half of the match.
Doha is down though, but A still under the hands of RISQ. It's getting very close to call, but GV has the caps. Tokyo wants to get Shugamuga out of the way, and he does, and the scoreline is now 3-1.
Sadly, they couldn't quite keep up in the end, and RISQ won the title again, 5-4.
Meaning, Nutpro is the last person standing, 10 more seconds to go. This is going to be RISQ, and we can safely say RISQ have won the spring season 2023. Huge congratulations to RISQ.
Continue to follow the stream for part 2.
Good evening everyone on the APAC server, and morning to the people on the NA server, and afternoon to the people on the EU server. Tonight we are following the professionals tournament. Well, actually not really, because we are following the final stage, the Blitz Summer Cup, the most important part of this season. We're following the final stage, first day of the Blitz Summer Cup. Let's take a look at the Blitz Summer Cup format. We're going to breeze through all of these because we don't have a lot of time. We only have like 8 minutes left to go. So it's a double elimination format in the best of 7 series, except for the grand final, which will be played in the best of 9 series. There are 4 teams in this bracket, and the team that loses 2 rounds will exit the tournament. The top 3 will get a custom in-game clan logo, so one of them tonight will not get that. But all of these 4 clans that are in the Blitz Summer Cup, they all have the in-game clan logos. It's just a matter of whether you're able to update your clan logo. The prize pool per team, there is a $50,000 prize pool, and this is how it's shared. The first place will get $25, the second place $15,000, the third place $7,000, and the fourth place will get $3,000 per team. So that will be shared amongst 10 players in the team. So how did we get here? We have the top 4 being RN, ICT, and RISQ. But ICT were found to have violated the rules, so they were disqualified, and that means GB will take their place instead. Let's take a look at the dates. So we're currently following the APAC server. Today's the first day, and tomorrow will be the second day. And for the EU server, it will happen a couple of days after, and we'll begin with the 19th and then the 20th. Let's take a look at the schedule. Thank you to Tolian for providing this. Take a note of the yellow blobs being the dates where you can play quick tournaments with your friends. But the dates in orange are the ones that you will see the big stuff happening. So let's take a look at the bracket. Well, we have RN versus GB on the other side. That will be followed by Amnet, and I'll be following ID versus RISQ. And let's take a look at the times. So at 7, we will have in Hong Kong time, or UTC +8. Upper bracket first round, the maps are Canal, Oasis Palms, Middleburg, and Lagoon. And in the lower bracket, first round, the maps are Wintermine of Bay, Rockfield, and Normandy. The start time is 5 minutes past 8 and 10 minutes past 9 for the upper bracket final, with the maps being Maya Ruins, Alfredstadt, Bladgoville, and Molendyke. So, I've made this lovely GIF of the professionals tournament, and as you can see, the top 4 did change a bit. EVG had a really good start, but they kind of tailed off to the end. And let's take a look at what the teams are. ID is a Korean clan, and they recently incorporated other nationalities since spring 2023, and the captain has been trying really hard to communicate with them, and they've been performing very well. So I'm very sure he has improved a lot in this respect in the communication. They've been playing since 2014, and they were the champion of the 2016 Blitz Asia Twister Cup, where they then qualified to the final to meet Legion, if I remember correctly. Many of them know each other in real life, and this is I've actually mixed the stuff I've got last year and stuff I got this year, so I'm not sure if it's the same, but in order to improve their tournament games, they use regular battles to improve map reading and situation awareness. Let's take a look at RN. They are a Japanese clan. They are founded in 2017, and they reunited in 2020 spring. The average age is around 21, and you can check their ages, the separate the teammates' ages in in the game, and I'm not sure if it still holds the truth, but apparently they train 1 to 2 times per week. Maybe they train a little bit more in the last couple of days. But let's take a look at RISQ. They are an international clan with nationalities from India, Romania, and Australia, and of course a lot more. They were formed in 2022, and they won 5 out of 6 previous seasons. And I'm not sure if this is still correct, but last year they attempted telepathy. I'm not sure if they have succeeded in doing so, but I would love to see that happening. But they've been playing really well, and maybe they did use telepathy to win 5 of the previous out of 6 previous seasons, but I'm joking. Telepathy doesn't exist. Of course, to improve their tournament play style, they try to have at least 7 players for training, and this is kind of obvious, isn't it? Let's take a look at GV. They're a Vietnamese-speaking clan, and they've been participating in pro tournaments since 2017. And they first started off as MIB. And of course, MIB were playing in the summer season, but that's pretty much their second team, to be fair. And they didn't go far in the Low Adjunct Championship, as far as I remember. But I digress. Madbox have made the following predictions: RN and RISQ to win 4-2. This is going to be correct. And finally, the power rating. Not going to delve too much, but a really good solid top 8 that we have, and solid top 4 too. So, instructions for rewards, the most important part of this stream, of course. The links are in the description, in the stream description. You can just click on the link to the correct server. First, you must enable targeting cookies, otherwise you only see a grey screen. But I will have to go into the room right away, otherwise I will forget, and it will spell disaster. Right, I'm in the room. Anyhow, you must also log in on your in-game account on the right server, otherwise you will not receive the rewards. And make sure do not watch the stream on YouTube if you want rewards, otherwise you will not get any rewards. Walking will not know who we are. And I'm going to do acknowledgement at the end. So, let's actually take a look at the map, the first map. Please stop me there.
Alright, there we go. Let's get into the game, shall we? Alright. Oh, I have to go in and out because I have got myself ready, but it's a kind of a glitch that has been happening for a while, that if I don't get into the game after the countdown completes, then I would not be able to get into the game. But if I restart my game, I'll be in the game. So I have not missed much, actually. ID will be from the north spawn and RISQ will be from the south spawn. Let's take a look at where most of the players are going. ID are going to get B right at the start, and look at Shugu going down there. It's a common route for teams to get control of the map, but Shugu is unable to stop ID from getting B right at the beginning, as they will get both C and D. F0 is there. Big shots happening onto Frozen and Mr. Insane. RISQ surely have worked their positions really well. It was a really bright start for Team ID, and all Team ID need to do is to stop dropping hit points, because at the moment RISQ have the hit point pool advantage, but ID have the cap lead, which means if RISQ drop more hit points, they will have a really tough push. And ID, if they lose too many hit points, they will have a really tough time defending. Fresh Lemonade takes a big one from that. And ID definitely need to stop dropping hit points, otherwise it will not be a great start for them. And they have the caps, and they really need to stop bleeding. RISQ with a really strong start. It puts them in a good position for a push that will happen later on. Remember, they need to get the cap lead back, as they are not leading in cap points. So a lot of you will be thinking they should go for B. It's kind of a common, it's a kind of an obvious way to get back the cap lead. But as we all know, ID are a really experienced clan. They will definitely have a lot of attention over to B. So if you go for B right at the beginning, the chances are ID will farm you to death, and you don't want that to happen. So what a lot of teams would do in this situation is that they will start to coordinate a rotation, but they would not rotate from only one side. They would try to coordinate rotations from multiple sides. So if one side is stopped from pushing, the other side is able to push through to pincer ID. And hit points are still in favor of our RISQ by more than 2k and almost 3k now. It's really looking good for RISQ, and ID are struggling to conserve the hit points. They're not in the best position. The Shugu took a hit, as he does not want to take a hit. And there we go. RISQ still looking to rotate. F-Silver, very important that Victor's Light farming a lot of damage. I think a lot of shots has been fired from him. But you can see RISQ, looking at the minimap, 3 tanks near the middle, 2 tanks near their spawn, and Lisa is joining them back to the spawn. And there's F-Silver farming from ID's spawn. We are approaching 800 cap points, and a push will come sooner or later. Remember, 6 cap points per 2 seconds of increase, so it's not a lot of time left for RISQ to make a push. Otherwise, ID could win by caps. But at the same time, if RISQ are able to get a tank out of the way, they will get a cap lead back, and things will change rapidly. So let's say we are seeing a push coming from Mozzarella and Pookie down the middle, and Shugu tries to go for B, but they're not met with any resistance. This is probably going to surprise RISQ, and now Zonk's trying to go out in the open. Lisa tries to draw the entire squad out, but ID, they still have all the tanks alive. And now Pookie, let's follow him. Mr. Insane's out, which means RISQ have the cap lead. And they're now going for Strachny. Strachny's now very low, down to 2 shots. And ID are trying to make a comeback. They're trying to get Zonk out of the way, but Strachny's out, and RISQ get the cap before ID are able to take out Zonk. And this brings RISQ to a 1-0 scoreline. Well done to RISQ. What a great start for RISQ. They fled ID a lot, and they didn't really need a good push, because they've already got more than 2k hit points of advantage. ID was struggling a lot in conserving hit points, and as you can see, ID, they only have one tank doing more than 2k, but for RISQ, also only one tank doing more than 2k, but all they need to do is to kill tanks, and they did kill tanks, and they brought them a crucial win. So, game on. It's the second battle. Alright, so let me see. Okay, there we go. So RISQ are currently leading 1-0. So let's also take a look at the trailer. Made a little bit of a quick trailer, and let's actually go for ID. Right. And next we have a RISQ. So it was made very quickly, so I didn't really have time to kind of, you know, make a collage or something. But I hope you enjoyed that. Let's go back. We only have 30 seconds left to go. Hello everyone. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hello to Vano. Hello to Sanuri. I've said hello while I was, you know, chatting. But hopefully we're now seeing a new setup for both teams. ID, we will see double 1-to-1 BS Drift K and Object 77797 TVP and an MLE with RISQ going for a TVP. And we will take a look at the rest later. And the clock has started. Counting down. And at the same time, let's take a look at RISQ. We have Smelt Potato in the 60 TP, Zonk in the I7, Kramwagen by Lisa, Mozzarella and Sugar Mugu in double Drift K, Spooky in the T95 E6, and Nash Silver in the TVP. Please let me know if there is any issues with the sound, and make sure you can hear my voice, and that is the most important part of this stream. An ID, Red Team, will send most of the players over to C and D, and RISQ will send most of the players to A and B. And this time, Sugar Mugu will try to get... Oh, no. He's not going for B. What is he going to do here? Takes one from Campon. Frozen goes down. Oh, and Sugar misses the shot. It was not a bright start for Shugu. He takes a lot of hits now. Frozen has gone down to the valley, but they might be able to pincer Frozen. But ID might have shots onto Sugar. Shoots down to 2 shots. Frozen needs to be taken out, and RISQ are trying to go for Frozen. And this is a great start for Team ID as they have taken out Shugu. Frozen still alive, if barely. And 7-6, RISQ with a huge point pool lead. Smelt Potato in the 60 TP. He is unable to take out Frozen, and now it's a 7-5 situation. RISQ. Let's take a look at the 1v1 situation. And Mozzarella versus Florienica. Who is going to win this 1v1 fight? It's going to be very important. Frozen is now out in the middle. Fresh Lemonade might be coming to save Florienica. And we will drop out of this for a moment. And at the same time, Zonk's trying to put some crossfire. But Mozzarella will go down. RISQ, they need the guns back. Strachey's out. Mozzarella is out. It's now a 5 versus 4. Hit point still in favor of RISQ, but the numbers are in favor of ID. So there is still a chance for RISQ, but they really need to be careful not to lose another tank. Pookie trying to go for C, but he gets shot by a couple of tanks of Team ID. RISQ also got B, so that means they will have to cap lead soon. And still, RISQ will just need to hope they have the cap, so they don't need to make a push. ID will need to make a push. They don't have the cap, so they will lose the cap lead sooner or later. They can try to get D, but RISQ will prevent ID from getting D at all. So this is going to be a really tough one. ID will try to make their numbers work. They have almost like 2 one-shots, like Campbell's a one-shot. Mr. Insane is very low. So they have to approach this really carefully, but Fresh Lemonade. Campbell is out! Oh, where did that come from? Which means now 4 versus 4. RISQ, OF Silver is there from behind. Van is out. Pookie is out. And it's now Mr. Insane down to 1 shot. Oh, this is so close. Hit puts them in favor of RISQ. But Mr. Insane is out. Song is now the focus for Team ID. And can Song survive this? He needs a bounce desperately, but Florienica will get the kill, meaning it's now a 2 versus 2. Oh, it's a miss from Lisa onto Florienica, and now F Silver will not join Lisa in capturing C. This is going to be very, very intense. I don't know. 4 more minutes to go. Still a hip on pool lead for RISQ, but Team ID are trying to get B back. Oh my god. Oh god. ID will try to get the cap lead back, but will F Silver be able to get D? Lisa will try his luck, or her luck, sorry, her luck on C, and ID would get A as well. So well, let's do the math. So it's going to be 6 cap points per 2 seconds of increase for RISQ. So I'm going to do really quick maths here. We are talking about around 3 minutes ago before RISQ get 1,000 cap points. So I believe we won't see all 3 minutes being used, but things will get quite dull for a moment here. So F Silver in the TVP, of course, he wants to get a good line of fire for Rielica. Is heading towards D, but he could be taken out by an entire clip of F Silver, so he has to be really careful. He has to be extremely careful now. F Silver feints! Florienica drops the reactive armor! Oh, it's down to a 2-shot! F Silver, can he get Florienica? He takes one from Flash Dominate, and F Silver puts another good shot and takes out Florienica, which means it's now a 2 versus 1. Fresh Dominate tries to get D, but his main objective is to kill F Silver. But can he get F Silver before F Silver reloads in time? Oh no, Lisa is coming in. F Silver is almost fully reloaded, and Fresh Dominate gets the kill until F Silver is now 1 versus 1. However, I think Fresh Dominate might be trapped here, and he gets taken out by Lisa, meaning the scoreline is 2-0. Thank you, Patrick, for saying everything is working fine. Oh my god, and hello too. And thank you to guys, wishing everyone good luck. What a game! ID, they had the hit point, the gun advantage, but the hit point advantage, they weren't able to get a solid lead. RISQ made it really, really close until the end. Really, I am pleased. 4 tanks to more than 2k for Team ID and RISQ. Also 4 tanks to more than 2k. But RISQ, the hit point pool lead is so important for them. But I was so worried that the gun disadvantage will bite them hard. But let's take a look at the next map. And it's Oasis Pops. Right, so let's get back into the room. Let's take a look at the lineup very soon. And thanks again to Tolian for providing the map cards. It's been really useful. Sorry, I was unable to make the new scoreboard. I didn't really have time, unfortunately. But I digress. We have ID with triple strip case, double MLEs as Sheridan. An object 777 RISQ going for a 215B. No, there is no 215B here. You do get keys on the EU server, but you would need to go to the EU portal instead. The link is in the description, still Sniper, so you can find it easily. But let's take a look at the lineup for RISQ. They are taking a 60 TP, an MLE is Strift K, a Crown Vog, a T100 LT, a T125, and a VK90. So really strong start for RISQ, but can ID find a way into the fight? Let's take a look at Fresh Lemonade in the Sheridan. He's going to find Sugar Mooga spotted and F Silver. is spotted as well. Great shot onto Fresh Lemonade from F Silver, but Shugu has been shot at by Strashny. So it's an even trading at the start. With RISQ, Mozzarella is spotted. Oh, we love some cheese. If you don't know, his previous name is Cheesy, of course. Maybe next season he is going to be called Cheddar. It's going to be called his name. Shugu takes another one. Let's take a look at F Silver and T100 LT. Now we're going to follow them for now. Ooh, some light bulbs been lit up. Mozzarella jumps into way. Oh, I think RISQ are looking for a push. They might have found a weakness. Oh, Pookie, good shot to Campo, but he is a little bit alone. He is a little bit alone. This is a really audacious move, but RISQ. Oh, Fresh Lemonade has taken a lot of hits, and he's now in trouble. Who will die first? Is it going to be Pookie, or is it going to be Fresh Lemonade? Fresh Lemonade down to one shot. Shugu is in deep trouble. Hit points are in favor of Team ID, so it's looking good for Team ID. It's isolated Pookie, but Fresh Lemonade needs to survive. He is hiding behind a rock, but ID will be able to get Shugu out. Shugu's down to a 2-shot, and Shugu looks to put a shot onto Borealica. That's a big shot there, but Fan puts a good one onto Shugu, and Shugu goes down to Borealica, and Pookie's still alive. And RISQ are trying to support Pookie. Pookie gets Campon out of the way, and ID bounce. Oh no, Frozen did not bounce to Pookie, but puts Pookie to a 1-shot. Hit points are still in favor of Team ID. But Frozen is now looking for Mozzarella, but Pookie is finally out, taken out by Strashny, and ID are looking for F Silver next there. Mozzarella is out of the fight, so it's now a 6 versus 4. What am I talking about? Smirk Potato gets the kill onto Frozen, and F Silver has now come in. He's still trying to escape from the crossfire of Team ID. And Zonk is down to 1 shot. Oh, look at the shot onto Mr. Insane. Zonk is out. 4 versus 3 right now. Mr. Insane is now out. ID with still a superior hit point with advantage. Lisa puts a good one onto Borealica, but it's now on a really long reload. Good shot onto Fan, but F Silver trying the best he could to survive. But I don't think he will survive. Smurf is out. F Silver is out. And Lisa is now trying to do 1v1. Oh, he takes out Borealica, but GG's, isn't it? I don't know. RISQ still have the cap lead. Nothing is set in stone, but I'm afraid it's going to be all over soon because ID, they still have 3 tanks alive, and Lisa is the only tank alive for RISQ. And this brings the scoreline to 2-1. Well done to Team ID. They've done a really good job in isolating Shugu and Mugu. And I think Pookie would appreciate some support there. RISQ just look a little bit disjointed in this battle, I'm sorry to say this. But that doesn't take away the fact that ID made a good comeback here. They have 4 tanks doing more than 2k, and the RISQ also 4 tanks doing more than 2k. Ooh. Wow. Alright, let's go back and let's take a look at this 4th battle of tonight. The scoreline's now 1-2. ID have made a good win here. And just going to take a look at the chat. Yes, you should be able to get the rewards on the APAC server as well. Same as you can on the NA server with an EU server account. So again, make sure you do the right stuff with details of the details stated in the stream earlier, and also there is a link to the portal in the description. So now let's take a look at Oasis Parks. Again, RISQ, they're going to have double MLUs, double Object 777, and double Crown Market with a T100 LT. You won't get any rewards if you view the stream, if you cannot view the stream in the portal. make sure you enable your targeting code keys. That's the code key that will enable you to watch the stream rather than a gray screen. If you only can see gray screen, then you are not able to take to get any rewards. Over to ID side, we have double Object 777, double Strip K, double 6TP, and the Sheridan. Okay. Everything seems to be going well on my side. And Oasis Palms is the next map. It's the map we're following here. RD versus RISQ. That's it.
Let's get this show on the road.
This is going to be a really long stream, so hang on tight. Ooh. Ban tries to blind fire, but it didn't hit anywhere. It will trigger some landslides for sure. And the environmental agency of Wargaming will not be happy about the landslides. So please be careful. You will be banned if you trigger too many landslides. But of course I'm joking here. F Silver spotted a couple of tanks, but we're going to be seeing Strategy go capturing C. Oh, he did. He is going for C. He is spotted. Will we see a reset shot? There we go. Sugar, good shot onto Strategy. Another good shot onto Strategy. Another shot from Sugar, but it could have been one more. There was a bounce there. Lisa takes one from Frozen. So it's not a terrible start for Team ID. Strategy took a couple hits, but Lisa also took a hit there. So Team ID, they've sent Sheridan and Paul Rienico to the desert side. F-Silver trying his best to run away. He does not want to take a hit. Let's follow his perspective for a moment. He's going to drive away. He's still spotted. And will he get a shot? He is still spotted, but he might be... Oh! Good shot from Campo onto F-Silver. And the hit points are still a big risk, but ID have traded slightly better. Pookie has a lot of responsibilities, very alone near A. And ID will try their luck again with C. But this time I think they could succeed. And the double Grand Falcon's good shot onto Thrash. Oh, Sugar takes one. A couple of bounces in the way of Sugar. But ID have successfully captured C. Oh. A great job to RISQ trying to shoot tanks near C. But big shot! Professional eliminate onto Lisa. Now the hit points are quite even. So this is going to be a tough one. RISQ need to rotate. Oh, we're seeing the double Object 777 rotating into the desert side. Fresh Lemonade tries to go out. But will he receive a shot or two? B will be captured by Team ID, and that will put RISQ under a lot of pressure. They will not have a lot of time left here. But Fresh Lemonade looking to put a big shot onto Mozzarella. Takes one and puts a bait rule onto Mozzarella. But ID will be going to push onto Pookie. Pookie's down to one shot. He's out! It's now a 6 versus 7. RISQ are in trouble. Big shots onto Fresh Lemonade. He's out! 6 versus 6 now. RISQ are trying to make a comeback here. The double Object 777s are still really healthy. They really want to take Strategy out of the way. They found Strategy isolated, but Smoked Potato could be the focus for Team ID. Oh, Lisa takes a big one. Strategy's out. Lisa down to one shot. He's out. She's out. I mean, F-Silver gets the kill onto Porielic. It's now 4 versus 5. Hit points still in favor of Team ID, but the goals are in favor of RISQ. But Smoked Potato could go down now. He is out. And it's now 4 versus 4. And the cap points are still in favor of ID. RISQ are only able to get C here. And they... Oh, no, he's unable to get C. They're now trying to gamble of getting all the remaining tanks of ID. They have to work really carefully here. Sugar is very low. And Zonk is full health. So Campo could out DPM Sugar. And that's not something Sugar wants. Sugar puts a good one on Frozen. And he can go back to the... garage. Frozen is out of the way, so it's now 3 versus 3. Time is running out. Zonk is still very healthy, and RISQ are looking for Mr. Insane. Good teamwork here from RISQ. Mr. Insane is down to one shot. Mozzarella gets the kill. Let's take a look at F-Silver 1 versus 1 against Campon. He has to win this fight. If he does not win this fight, it will spell trouble for RISQ. Campon's down to one shot, and Campon hopes to get the shot in. Maybe an emerald rank. No. F-Silver gets the kill onto Campon, leaving Fan the last person standing. And RISQ will win this one, bring the scoreline to 3-1 now. After the bounce. Oh, no, he does not bounce the shot. Fan is perma-tracked, unfortunately. Not really perma-tracked. He was tracked for a brief moment, but this is surely going to be RISQ winning. Well done to RISQ. Amazing, amazing teamwork. Mozzarella will get saved, but Fan will be taken out, meaning the scoreline will now be 3-1. There we go. That was so close. RISQ, amazing teamwork. 5 times more in 2K. ID started this one not terribly. They have the hip hop poorly for pretty much a majority of the battle. The issue is they do not have the gun advantage you can contend with at RISQ. This time they make sure they will make use of that gun advantage to their utmost advantage, meaning scoreline 1-3 RISQ with a match point now. We are now going to Middelburg, and now let's take a look at the map. Alright, let's go back to the room now. Alright, let's take a look at the lineups for both teams. It's a different map, of course. Middelburg, not as open as Oasis Palms, but still to a certain extent. But we're not seeing any light tanks or medium tanks. RISQ will take quadruple Optic 777, double Crown, and a 6TP ID. Let's see the lineup. ID will take quadruple Strift Case, double VK72, and an IS7. Let's take a look here. ID from the south spawn this time, and RISQ Bluetooth from the north spawn. So ID will take quadruple Strift Case, double VK72, and an IS7. So let's see where both teams are going to go. Match point to RISQ now. And they only need to win this battle to qualify to the upper bracket final. But we're seeing some blind fire from ID and Mozzarella in the Crown Wagon, dropping the speed boost. B will be captured by ID right at the start of this fight. Let's take a look at Mozzarella. Oh, this is going to be a really tough spot to hold down, especially with Crown Wagon not having lots of gun depression. Receives an HE splash from Mozzarella, because that's almost the full damage of an AP clip and a medium tank, to be honest with you. So it's really painful indeed. Mozzarella, he needs to be really careful. Putin takes one. A will be captured by Zonk, so it's actually a great start for Team ID, and they have the Hippo pool advantage as well. VK of Porelica tries to put a shot on Spooky, but it's unsuccessful. And RISQ will need to find a way to rotate. They do not have the cap lead, and they have to kill more than one tank. The gap is more than 80 cap points. Oh. And she splash again. Mozzarella takes another one. But not a lot is happening at the moment. Smoked Potato tries to fire a shot, but I don't think it hits. It's gonna be tough. Where can RISQ push? RISQ can push onto B, but Fresh Limited and Camp will be ready to take you out. So if Zonk goes alone, he's going to be out DPM very quickly. That leaves 6 tanks up on hill. The VKs, they have a really high alpha. They can try their best to whittle down the hit points of RISQ, and they also have the hit point advantage. So that and also RISQ do not have the DPM advantage. They have double crown and the 60 TP, so it is going to be really, really tough. But Zong has made a call to capture B. I'm afraid this could be an issue. Now Campon's in. Zong realizes that there are double strip Ks going for him. And RISQ are now making a call to push, but this is going to be a really tough push. Are ID ready for this push? RISQ. Their focus. Who are they going for first? Mozzarella, good shot to LDS. But RISQ will turn the attention on to Porrick and they want the VKs out of the fight. Mozzarella is now very, very low. And Zong is now in deep trouble. Zong is now down to 2 shots. And RISQ are unable to get a tank out first. They took out Porrielica and Zong will go down now. And now the guns are 6 versus 6. Hit points are a huge favor of Team ID. Mozzarella is out. Shugu is trying to do 1 versus 1, but you will be linked up by Lisa. She will try to take out Strashny as quickly as she could. But Strashny is on fire momentarily. Some up to quite low too. And all ID needs to do is to get the tanks out as soon as they could. Big throw from LDS onto Puke. And it's a big HE shot from Mr. Insane. Puke is not going to last for long. F7 is down to 1 shot. Base shot onto Fan. Fan's down to 1 shot as well. Puke's out. Smack Potato out. F7 is out. And it's now a 5 versus 2. Fan out. Strashny out. 4 versus 2. Focus now onto Lisa from Team ID. He cannot run. She cannot run. She's on fire. And she's down to 1 shot. And she's no more. Leaving Sugar Migu the last person standing. Well done to Team ID making use of their lineup. They have the advantage with the lineup they are taking and RISQ. They might have taken too few tanks with DPM. It's simply too difficult to push with double crab bargains and the 60 TP. They simply don't have the DPM to contend with it. These tanks are not made for pushing. These tanks are made for defending. And with RISQ forced to make a push, it's going to be an uphill battle for them either way. So well done on ID for maintaining their focus fire and the hit point pool lead. And also they made use of the strip case. Great job in tackling Zong. It was a great strategy by Team ID, and I love this strategy. 6 tanks to on 2k, but RISQ only 2 tanks to on 2k. RISQ trying really, really hard. And then also at the same time, the double crab wagons and the 60 TP, the speed is very low, so it gives a lot of time for ID to regroup. So this is why I think RISQ would want a cap lead instead of rushing or rotating. So let's take a look at the other battle on Middelburg. The scoreline is now 2-3. Match point still with RISQ, but anything could still happen here. Will ID bring it to a tiebreaker? Winter Fox, that is an intro provided by Wargaming, lovely Wargaming. So again, thank you very much for this. Hello to Brando, I hope you're well as well. And as Osler says, battles get really intense quickly. Yes, they do. Alright, so let's take a look at the lineups again. RISQ, 777s, double MLEs, a crown, and a strip case. They are looking for more DPM this time. I, on the other hand, will take a similar lineup, quadruple strip case, an MLE, and double VK72. And RISQ will really appreciate a cap lead this time. But let's say whether they can get that, so that they can bring the game to ID instead. And ID, even if they don't have the cap lead, they have the tanks. They have the tanks for pushing. The strip case, a lot of DPM. VK72s, they're very slow though. They could act as pivots though, so they have a different use. Let's see who will get a cap lead first. It will be Fan going for A right at the start, and Smoke Potato and Lisa jumping straight into B. That will put them just only 1 tank away from flipping. Fresh Lemonade has been spotted. And RISQ will send 4 tanks over to the hillside. Strashny tries to go for C, maybe no. He's going to run away from that. B has been captured. ID has captured A more quickly. So again, RISQ without a cap lead, this is going to be difficult. especially when we are talking about a lot of strict plays for Team ID. I think RISQ will want to make sure ID have bled enough before the push happens. We're seeing RISQ trying their best to bleed ID, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very tough. But let's take a look at Sugar and Mugu in the Strift K. Oh, LDS spotted, Sugar spotted. Oh, big shot onto Sugar by LDS onto Sugar, sorry. And wow. No, a lot is happening at the moment. It's very unlike the first 3 or 4 battles, where it gets very intense very quickly, but this is not quite yet. Remember, 5 cap points for 2 seconds increase, and teams usually push around the 800 cap point mark, so we're just talking about a minute left to go before RISQ have to push, and there is not a lot of time left. They haven't been able to whittle down ID of hit points, and ID did really well in this respec, unlike what they did in the first battle of Canal. They bled a lot in the first battle of Canal, but this time they made sure they don't bleed a lot, so that they can make use of their DPM advantage to deny of a big push from RISQ. And ID is still doing one big shot from Zonk onto Porielica. It's not an AP pennant, but an HE splash would deal more than 200 onto Zonk. So it's getting more and more difficult for RISQ now. Again, are they able to find an isolated tank? The other thing they could do is to try and get C, which will bring them the cap lead back, but C will be heavily fortified by ID. So the other thing they could do is to get A. But again, just like last battle, the 2 strip Ks can rotate immediately and take out the tank, capturing A. So either way, it's going to be a very tough one for RISQ. It's another good strategy from Team ID, I'm afraid, and RISQ. How are they going to tackle this? Still not a lot are happening. We are talking about 700 cap points for Team ID now. Porielica takes a hit, but Mozzarella also takes one from Porielica. And RISQ are definitely stacking up near, say, Sugar Mugu. Let's look at the other side. It's looking to support RISQ on the push onto C, and I think a push is now coming. F-Silver is leading the charge. They're now going for Mr. Insane. Mr. Insane is deep trouble. No, they're going for Porielica instead. Porielica is the focus fire for RISQ, and they need to take out Porielica as soon as possible, but sometimes you only go for Mr. Insane because Porielica is now back into safety. So now the focus has turned onto Mr. Insane. Mr. Insane is the first tank out. Hit points still in favor of RISQ, but the attention is now onto Porielica. Porielica is now in deep trouble. I are unable to find a tank to kill at the moment. ID a little bit too slow here. Porielica is now down. It's now 5-37. ID, can they bring this one back? The hit point put advantage is firmly in favor of RISQ, and ID do not have the guns as well. Fresh Lemonade dumps the shot, and Campbell is out. So it's now a 4-7. And RISQ, they're very close to winning this. Zong is out. F7 is down to a 1-shot. LDS is down. F7 is out. So it's now a 3-5. It's looking very, very good for RISQ here. Fan gets taken out, and the scoreline is now 4-2, meaning RISQ will qualify to the upper bracket final, and we will find out the team they're facing next. ID will be condemned to the lower bracket first round. Great stuff from both teams. It was very, very close. The scoreline, I would have wanted a tiebreaker, but Blackbox got it right. It's 4-2 in favor of RISQ, as RISQ have done more than 2k for 4 of the players here, and none of the players from ID have done more than 2k. I think ID were too slow in this one. They didn't react to RISQ pushing quickly enough, and they also allowed RISQ to focus fire quite easily too. So ID, they need to be a bit better than this when it comes to the lower bracket first round. They might be losing some steam and concentration, but I digress. It's going to be a clean slate in the lower bracket first round. We'll find out the next opponent they will face. So let's say. Alright, so RN 4-3 against GV, so well done to RN. Which means it's going to be RN versus RISQ in the upper bracket final, and RD versus GV in the lower bracket first round. The group stage winner curse is eliminated. RN will not finish in the 4th place. It's a great job to RN. And let's also take a look at let me check. Let's also take a look at the results of the NA server for the Blitz. If you haven't known the result already, we have the upper bracket first round, Jokers winning Leverage 4-0 and Ponder losing to X Origin 1-4. And then we have the lower bracket first round in favor of Ponder 4-0. Sadly, LVG Leverage will not get an in-game clan logo, and they are the only team in this top 4 without a custom in-game clan logo. And I feel very sorry for them, but maybe there will be another chance soon. Jokers will win. Jokers won X Origin 4-2 in the upper bracket final, and X Origin knocked out Ponder in the lower bracket final 4-1, and they got their revenge with a 5-4 tiebreaker win against Jokers in the grand final. So let's go back to the APAC server. Just going to quickly update the times because it's not correct. Hopefully it will show up correctly now. Where is it? There we go. And that's the right time. It's the right time. Alright, so I will go on a break. I will be back very soon, and you'll see the second part of the Clan Wars history of the APAC server in 2023. So see you later. I'll be having a snack. Of course, I'm getting hungry now.
See a huge increase in prize pool. Many of the top teams returned and trained hard. This also initiated the organization of a community tournament hosted by the top Clan Wars players of the APAC server. We saw the return of RN and EVG there, but still no sign of GRS. It was a great community tournament, and I got the time to follow the last 2 days of the community tournament. The two clans that surprised me were Limat and Jomon. Limat came 3rd in the Challengers tournament last season, but they beat RN 4-1 in the upper bracket final. Meanwhile, Jomon split from XPT and were securing a top 4 spot. In the end, Limat came really close to beating RISQ, only losing 4-5 to them. It looked like we had a new serious top 8 contender. Finally, the summer season arrived. We saw the return of a lot of clans. The season was bound to be competitive, as we saw around 40 teams competing across all 4 previous skill tournaments, the most active season for a really long time. As the IJ became E2s, as I said previously, ICT were playing under their own banner. SVZ changed to DRX, which was the same clan tag as the Chinese server. XPT split into XPT and Jomon. Many of Sosna turned to Vortex. A lot of our SOC went to DT. Of course, both RN and EVG returned. The most exciting thing was the comeback of the legendary Laos and Kane. Many new clans showed up, such as IMX, RVE, Alpha from the Chinese server, MIB, and GKD. This marked a new era on the APAC server. With good performances in the community tournament came huge expectations. After previous skill number 2, we saw most of the usual top 8 suspects in the top 8. Laos and Joma were the 2 other clans. Unfortunately, Nimat were unable to find a breakthrough and was sitting precariously in the fringes of top 16. top 8 hopes becoming slim. Coming to previous skill number 4, Jowon were in 7th and OD and E2s were tied in 8th. Laos sadly had an unfortunate seeding in the third previous skill tournament that knocked them down the pecking order. EVG on the other hand was struggling to get into top 8 despite their roster. In previous skill number 4, we saw Jowon put into the same group as DRX, while OD were unfortunately drawn in the same group as RN, and E2s had a relatively easy group as they had Scam and IMX. Laos were in the same group as EVG. DRX dispatched Jowon to win that group.
It's going to come in, they have a lot more hit points, and just know it, it's going to get the kill, meaning DRX have won Group 8 2-0.
Laos had a shocker and lost to ICC, which were mostly from RISQ, ending their hopes of a top 8 debut. EVG then beat ICC to enter top 8 for the first time in the season. Sadly, OD lost to RN twice on the tiebreaker, and their hopes in the top 8 grew slimmer, while E2s pretty much secured a top 8 as they won their group. Coming to the second day, I had the privilege to have Tolian alongside me. We followed both top 8 and top 16 fights in Group 4. Nomad surprisingly lost to RVE the previous day, putting them in danger of dropping out of top 8. They had GV in the same group, and they were also in danger of dropping out too, as they lost to Alpha shockingly. Alpha were also in the same group, and so were DT. It seemed we would see a repeat of the spring season for RISQ tournament. Coming to day 2, DRX, Jowon and OD were all looking to get into top 8. DRX had a tough group with EVG and RVE. Jowon had ID. OD unfortunately had another tough group with RISQ and ICT. OD didn't stand a chance as they came third. DRX were ahead of themselves and they barely knocked out RVE 3-2, only to lose EVG 0-3. That meant Jowon were the last challenger, and they surprisingly won their group 3-2 against ID, averting a possible repeat of the spring season, or so it seems. In Group 4, the group we were following, Alpha came 4th and DT came 3rd. It was a day marred with technical issues. Our top 2 were GV and Nomad. Nomad needed to win in order to stay in the top 8, and they defied the odds. Jowon, despite winning ID, were once again denied of the top 8. A cruel repeat of the spring season.
It was in huge favor of Nomad and X4. Still really healthy, but then out of the fight, Cocoa will not need to put a shot on Tokyo, leaving Elon killing Rome, and this means Nomad will win 3-1. And this is going to be a win for Nomad, important win. Nomad are through to the top 8 professionals tournament. Congratulations to Nomad.
Ironically, they also got knocked out in the lower bracket first round in the Challengers tournament. There were a lot of upsets in both Challengers tournament and lower echelon championship. Defending champion DRX got knocked out on the first day by a relatively new IMX, and Nemat didn't qualify for the final stage. Defending champion UX got knocked out by XPT, while both TSIA and King got knocked out by ICC and GKD. The Challengers tournament also saw a shocking scene where Alpha did a no-show in the lower bracket first round.
It will be 4-0 for RVE. Alpha will not turn up with enough players. And RVE are going through to the lower bracket final.
In the end, OD got their revenge by winning the Challengers tournament, with XBT taking the crown over the heavy favourite VT in the lower echelon championship.
Flags down to one shot. Abscess also very low. Flags been taken out. Abscess have been taken out. OD are looking for Dumbmeister for 2 tanks here, and ISFP 1v1 against Control Shift. Maybe not, because Catfish and the Reading User are joining Control Shift in taking out ISFP. 6 versus 4. 950 cap points for OD. RVE took out Crew, and it's now 5 versus 4 with Dumbmeister being taken out. I can safely say OD will be our Challengers Tournament winner on the APAC server. Huge congratulations to OD.
Professionals Tournament this season adopted a double round robin format. Many will hope another close top 4 fight as 2022 autumn season really came down to 1 to 2 round wins of difference. This season wasn't as close, as RN steadily ran away in the latter half, while ICT made crucial wins to be safe. RISQ, however, had a difficult run, as they barely managed to qualify in the end at the 4th place. ID came 3rd. EVG, despite a strong start coming as high as the 1st place, lost steam, and I wasn't able to capture their best moments on the live stream. GV was tussling with their internet connection issues apparently, and didn't come top 4 for the first time since 2022 autumn season. Nomad, despite a lot of promise shown in the previous skill tournaments, were struggling in the 7th place, with E2s in the 8th place. However, this top 8 was surely one of the strongest top 8 I've ever seen, as even the last placing team, E2s, showed exceptional focus fire and teamwork. This really showed how far the APAC server has come, with many streams readily available for review and learning these days, and a general good environment for teams to work hard and train across all servers. This is not the end. A couple of days later, ICT was found to have violated several rules. They were barred from participating in the final stage again, a repeat of what happened in 2019 autumn season. This meant GV, who came 5th, were invited. GV once again had the chance to take revenge of the 2 heartbreaking defeats in the grand final against RISQ, but the road would be bumpy. RN came 1st in the group stage, and the group stage winner curse had been a thing since 2020, where the group stage winner came 4th in the final stage. Will this happen to RN this time? Can ID recapture their glory in 2021 autumn season, where they won the big one in the end? Will RISQ reinforce their status as the juggernaut of the APAC server? You will all find out in these 2 days. This is Wildwood's Helper, and thanks for listening to my tech talk of the APAC clan war scene in 2023. See a huge increase in
Vietnam vô địch.
Winter Mononoke. This is Winter Mononoke. Forgot to unmute myself. Sorry. For like a long time. So again, I think the most important thing you might want to know is that in the trailer you heard Berlin shouting for like which means Vietnam for if I remember correctly, which means Vietnamese champions, and it's a really powerful shout, and you will feel frightened after hearing that, so don't underestimate GV by any means. But all the important information can be viewed visibly in this stream. I just forgot to unmute myself after having treating myself with a snack with a chocolate bar. And we're now on to Winter Mononoke, and both teams are now ready. So make sure again, haven't missed much here. ID versus GB. ID will take quadruple strip Ks, an MLE and Object 777 as Sheridan, with GB going for double MLE 6TP, triple strip K, and an IS-7. So GB will start from the north and ID will start from the south. Right. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hopefully we have another round of exciting stuff. So with me tonight, we have Pyroblast following and Emunet following too, and then there is also another CSA community contributor. I think it's a Ukrainian contributor streaming in Ukrainian. I'll have to go back and look at the name, but yeah, at least 4 people are streaming and we're in. This is Winter Mononoke. Everyone's now shouting, no audio, you should be hearing me now. Nice and clear. GV blue team from the north spawn. Is that what he said? And ID red teams have spawned. ID. Where are they going here? ID will go mostly to A and GB going mostly to A as well. So we could see a big brawl coming in there. Let's take a look at Campon in a Sheridan. Is he going to get the spots for the team? Spotted Berlin. Will he put a shot onto Berlin? Oh, Campbell takes one. Not the best start, but not the worst start. Not great, not terrible. That's the word I would say. And big shot onto Doha while he's crossing, so the hit points are now even. Professor takes another one. ID is doing better in the trading. Professor takes 2, and now it puts R in favor of ID. B will be attempted by LDS, but this is going to be extremely tough, as LDS could get away with capturing B, but getting away from B is another story to tell. GB might have the shots ready to shut down LDS pulling out of B. But ID will have C as well, which means the hit point, the cap lead will be in favor of Team ID. Borrega, however, is quite isolated, but Mr. Insane will come back to join Borrega. C has been captured, meaning the cap points are in huge favor of ID. They will have 10 cap points for 2 seconds of increase, with GB only with 1. 5 cap points for 2 seconds of increase. So, I'm a bit distracted. Let's do some calculation very quickly. We're essentially talking about a minute, it's just more than a minute to go before GB absolutely need to make a push. Have I done it wrong? Big shot onto Campon. Oof, that was not nice for Campon. Hit points are still in favor of Team ID, however, as they've done a good job in bleeding GB. And Tokyo takes one from Fan. So that big shot onto Campon, it's good, but they would still need to do better. Victory takes another hit. They're bleeding a lot in the rotation. Big shot to LDS with Berlin. I think he's found isolated. He's now in deep trouble. ID are going for Berlin, but at the same time, GB are trying to get C back, but they're not pushing
in a compact unit, and Berlin will go down very soon. 3 versus 1, Paul Riedecker, 1v1 potentially for Berlin and Paul Riedecker, but Mr. Insane will put a bait one onto Berlin. And C will be captured by victory, meaning, oh, GB capturing B as well. I love what GB are trying to do here. GB are trying to get the cap lead back, despite having a hit point disadvantage, but Tokyo will now be the next focus for Team ID. Team ID will want to get A as well, but GB now have all 3 caps. ID need A. They will get A. They will try to reduce the cap point increase of GB, but ID, they still have 7 tanks, they still have hit points. They need to do really well. They need Tokyo out. Tokyo is now being rushed, but Cologne is trying to support Tokyo. Doha is trying to get a focus fire onto Mr. Insane. Tokyo is now in deep trouble. Paul Riedecker quite low too. And Tokyo hopes to put a big one to Paul Riedecker. He gets a kill to Paul Riedecker. It's now 6 for the 6. Hit points now neck and neck. Mr. Insane is now very low. Tokyo is now in deep trouble. But ID have got C back, meaning ID have the cap point lead again. Professor is now out, so it's now a 6 versus 4 situation. Mr. Insane is now out. B is still under the hands of GB, but that could change soon. LDS kills Monaco, meaning it's now a 5 versus 3. 960 cap points. All ID need is a kill. All ID need is a kill, and they got that important kill, meaning ID will win 1-0. It was very intense again. GB almost got it by capturing all 3 caps, but ID make sure they get the caps back swiftly. And look at the damage done by Team ID. 4 tanks to 2K. GB tried their best. They've singled out the tanks near the spawn effectively, but it wasn't enough. They lost way too many hit points on the defense while trying to figure out where to push, and that really hurt them. Berlin was very isolated too, and it really didn't help matters at all when it comes to focus fire for to make it hard for Team ID. And let's go back. It's now going to be 2-0. And now we're going to be seeing GB. They're going to be taking triple strift Ks, an IS-7, a 60TP, a Sheridan, and an MLE, with ID going for triple strift Ks. So the one will be an Optic 777, an MLE, and another strift K by Campon, meaning they will take quadruple strift Ks. I'm just going to update the scoreline for quickly here. ID winning the first battle. All right, there we go. What will we say for GB next? The GB triple strift Ks, an IS-7, the 60TP, a Sheridan, and an MLE. ID agreeing for quadruple strift Ks, an MLE, and a 1-2-B, and an Object 777. Let's go. ID. Important start. But we know last 2 matchups, ID won GB 4-3 twice. Last 2 matchups, ID won 4-3 against GB. So are we going to be seeing another tiebreaker? And will we see GB getting their revenge finally? ID this time will go for C. And GB looking to go for A. So ID. They're looking for C, but GB will get A at the beginning. That will give them the cap lead. But for ID, they will also get B, but Monaco is going to be in position to put shots onto LDS, but they have to be careful. They don't want to bleed too much like last time. And shots been fired, but none of them hit anywhere. B and C have been captured again. GB are a team that needs to make a rotation. Team ID. LDS captured B. The thing is, can he get out of B safely? That's the main issue here with getting B, is that you can get B, but getting out of B is going to be hard. GB are trying to get into position to prevent LDS from getting B now. It's going to be a challenge for GB to take out LDS. Do we have shots coming from GB spawn? Tokyo. Not getting any shots in. Berlin takes one. LDS should be able to get into safety. Not really. It takes another one. It's still trying to drive back into safety. Doha is still spotted. Frozen has he spotted. It's actually ID that are dropping hit points instead of GB. GB are holding up very well at the moment. But they don't have the cap lead. Again, let's do the maths. We're talking about around 40 seconds ago. So they're jumping straight into B to capture that. And ID, do they have tanks to reset B? Ooh. Let's see. ID. And LDS have taken a couple more hits. Great double tap by Doha and Tokyo. And Tokyo is able to put another big one onto LDS. And... oh! Hyro, and it's a kill for onto LDS. ID have immediately rotated to take out Monaco. Monaco is now the focus for Team ID. It's now a 6-7, and last thing Monaco wants is an ammo rack. Monaco is fully reloaded, looks to put a big one onto Campon. It's a good row here, but Monaco will be taken out. It's now a 6-6. Hit points in favor of GB, and GB are now looking for Campon and Close now the focus for Team ID. Who will get the tank out first? And Campon is out. I love how GB are spreading out their responsibilities. They're not like sending everyone to focus on the same time. They're trying to maximize efficiency. It looks as if like GB are not focusing fire, but they know what they're doing. Berlin is now trying to get Fan out of the way. Victory is out. GB with a strong hit on Bully, but the guns are in favor of ID at the moment. Fan is out. Strash is down to one shot, and Tokyo is almost fully reloaded to kill Strashny. And he does. But Doha is out, meaning it's now 3 versus 3. It's not game over yet for Team ID. GB have 2 caps. They need Frozen out of the way. Great round for Berlin. Berlin needs to kill. On to Frozen, and it's now a 2 versus 3. One shot from Mr. and Safe Florica. It's a very big shot from Rome. On to Florica. And all GB needs to do is to kill it with another tank, or just stay alive. The objective is to stay alive. Oriana is out, meaning GB gets an important win, bringing the scoreline to 1-1. GB this time they've done a lot better, and you can see a huge difference when you conserve hit points compared to when you don't conserve hit points. This makes the push from GB a lot easier, and they are able to trade ID a lot more effectively. And now scoreline 2-0, 1-1 for both teams. It's going to be a close fight. Alright, so let's take a look at the next map. Alright, our next map is New Bay. So let's go back to the room. And let's see the lineups for both teams. Strip K. We're going to be seeing GV. Sorry, GV will take triple Strip Ks, double MLEs, TP, and then IS7. ID, on the other hand, let's take a look at their lineups. Double MLEs, potentially quintuple Strip Ks. Not lots of super heavies. I thought we will see quite a lot of super heavies, but we're not seeing that. So no VK 72, no mouse, no U100. That's a bit surprising. ID. Campon's ready. I think we're going to see a big brawl to the bridge side, but GB are taking fewer strip case and MOEs. Oh, I need to ready up. Frozen, get ready. Press the button. Oh no! Ah! Frozen got ready just in time. You never know. I almost did a wise here. You don't want to do a wise. You don't want to play with 6 players. Frozen just caught us off guard. He will play in a Strift K and GB. Almost thought they're going to play with 7 versus 6. We're seeing GB taking 60p double MLUs to 9-7 triple Strift Ks. Okay, so they have more defensive tanks, so they really want that cap lead at the start. And GB are now heading their way over to B. Trying to get the cap here. No, they're going straight past B. Oh, I thought we might see a big brawl over to the bridge side, but maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. Poriaka's trying to get saved, but he will be met with assistance. Victory, great shot to Poriaka. Poriaka may be isolated. The rest of GB tanks are looking for Poriaka is being hunted down. What will ID make of this? Poriaka is down to one-shot Berlin, misses the shot. Poriaka puts a good shot to Berlin, but that could only be a consolation prize as Poriaka will go down now. But he's able to put another one onto Berlin. Monaco takes up Poriaka. The hit puts are in favor of GB, but Tuka takes a lot of shots from the MLEs. Now, IDF responded. Doha, Victory, and Rome trying to share the hit points. It's all about hip-hop sharing it at this point. ID and trying to find tanks to take out. Berlin and Monaco are quite isolated, but GB might be able to take out Cannon Point first. Mr. Insane trying to come from behind. Cannon Point is out. And GB looking for Fan. Fan is down to 190. Great push from Team Fighter from GB. Victory is on fire. Down to one shot. Fan is out. Victory is out. And it's now 4 for the 6. Strashny is now focused for GB. It's looking to be a big shot onto Strashny. Good fire from Monaco as well. 3 for the 6. Amazing push. Well-timed push from GB. Now Doha is going for LDS. No, it's not going for LDS. It's going to ignore that for a moment. As LDS will be taken out by Berlin. Doha, good shot onto Mr. Insane, and Rome hopes to put a shot in. No, Mr. Insane's now. That leaves Frozen the last person standing. Well done to GB. GB are very ruthless in this battle. They're not giving any empathy to Team ID, and I feel so sorry for Team ID. Poriaka just went down in the first like 30 seconds of the battle, and there's nothing much you can do about it. I think ID tried their best to make a comeback. I think Frozen was AFK here, so essentially they are playing 6 for the 7. I do feel very sorry, but in this moment you might want to switch a player out, and this is why there are 10 slots in there are 10 slots in a team, so that you can make use of the remaining 3 spots as an emergency if there is a player that suddenly disconnects. Nevertheless, GB 5 tanks doing more than 2k and ID 3 tanks doing more than 2k. So a resounding performance by GV, and now it's 2-1 for GB, which is a really good. Oh no. So it's definitely Frozen being AFK in the last battle, which I feel very sorry about. Okay, let's take a look at the next battle on New Bay. As ID, they would take triple MOEs, double Strift Ks and double VK72. On the other hand, GB are going for triple Strift Ks, double MLEs, 62p, and Berlin in the IS7. And Frozen is back in the Strift K. So no substitutions will be made here. So with GB leading 2-0, what will ID make of this? So GB, as I said, the first two maps are the maps that will probably not be the most favorable for them, but as we have seen, they've already won 2. If they can win the next one, I think there is a good chance that they could win in the end. But we shall see. We shall see.
Let's go.
Let's go back up and see ID red team from the north spawn and GB blue team from the south. And ID. Who said most of the players over to the yeah, a lot of players to the British side, but GB are doing the same thing as last time. It worked out very nicely for them. But this time, ID would know this strategy, so they cannot repeat the same thing, I'm afraid. If they do, they will find only Paul Rienica in the VK, and that's going to take them a lot longer to take out. On the other hand, Fan in the VK is taking this position to spot if GB are going quite aggressive, just like last battle. Now GB have rotated back. And I love what they're doing. They're trying to do spawn baiting strategy. 3 tanks sitting close to the red line. And if ID decides to push onto C, they'll find the tank immediately. So let's see. Oh, ID are getting a bit more aggressive. Cap wins are still in favor of GB, but they're just parking the bus at this point. And GB. Good shot from Rome onto LDS. And ID attacking sector 4. Is this a signal for ID to cap B? I don't know. But they could cap B with and then get the cap B back and force a push from GB. It's possible. I think that's just something that ID could do, but they still don't know where most of the tanks of GB are, so they are just playing very safe, not trying to lose all hit points going from A. And I hit the building. Oh, Orica will go for B, and they are trying to get the cap lead back. Let's see. Orica. He's going to get B. He is going to get B without any resets. So that means GB will now rotate. And the triple surf case near the spawn have woken up. They're now going for A. Just 3 tanks have been spotted. They've been found trying to go for A. Frozen tries to put a shot, but I don't think that registered. Rome might be the focus for Team ID. Now comes the ID's push onto the C area. One of Strift Case will go for A. And let's take a look at the rest of the team. GB needs to defend this. It's going to be really, really tough. GB are very spread out at the moment. ID has to make use of this information to take out the tanks as quickly as possible. Focus down to focus, down to 1 shot. Strashny takes a big hit as well. Berlin's coming for Strashny, and Monaco's the next tank down potentially. Campon is trying to do 1v1 against the Strift K. But Monaco will not stay alive for long. Campon's down to 1 shot. Monaco is out. Berlin's trying to brawl against Strashny, but he needs to connect with the team because he is now the focus for Team ID. And he's being taken out. It's now a 6 versus 4. But all 3 caps have been captured. GB are unable to cap 1 back, and this is a well-timed push for Team ID. Well, capitalizing on GB's line formation being so spread out. Victory is now out of the game, and it's now a 5 versus 6 versus 3. It's all over with GB, as ID will pull 1 back, bringing the scoreline to 2-2. Doha's down to 1 shot, and Strashny will take a Doha. Rome is now the next focus for Team ID. And ID still have all 3 caps here. Strashny bounces onto Cologne, but Frozen will take out Rome. Big AC shot onto Cologne's backside. And Fan, big shot onto Cologne, and Fan will kill Cologne by fire. Well done to Team ID, and they bring one important battle back. Scoreline is now 2-2. Wow. Great push from Team ID. Well-timed push. I think GB, again, tried to play for the caps here, but they inevitably spread themselves a bit too much. Maybe not... maybe the strip case would need to go for a bit of a different route, so that they won't isolate the tanks near, say, because those 3 tanks are quite easy pickings for ID. They have 4 tanks doing more than 2k. As for GB, only 3 tanks doing more than 2k. And let's take a look at the third map. Okay, there we go. We have our third map being not Middleburg, Rockfield. Rockfield is our third map. Now let's take a look at the lineups of both of these teams. ID will take triple strift Ks, triple VK72s, and then IS7 GB will go for triple strift Ks, and IS7 is TP and double MLEs. Gonna say hello to Capsule and hello to Juicy. And what will we see for Rockfield? My nose is starting to not cooperate at all. Hopefully that will resolve itself in the next match. But yeah, I'm struggling. So ID will take triple strift Ks, triple VK72s, and an IS7 that will bring the hit point pool lead. As for GB, will take 60 TP, double MLEs, an IS7, and triple strift Ks. So none of them will take a light tank here, which is going to be not the most ideal with a map this open. But who will get a cap lead first? And I think GB wants that cap lead. Or maybe it's actually ID, because ID have 3 VKs. But GB only have 1. So let's say Victory going for A. It's apparently it will be GB that will try to get a cap lead. And Poretica takes 1 at the beginning. A would be captured by GV and Team ID. Mr. Insane misses the shot. Rome also misses the shot. ID will try to get C, and B could be an important cap here for both teams. GB will want to reset B, and ID might want to cap B, but it's going to be extremely tough. LDS tries to go for B. He's not being spotted yet, and he now jumps into B. Monaco shot. So that means LDS might be able to get away with this. Let's follow Monaco at this moment in time. B, LDS will get B with impunity, and Monaco is unable to reset B. LDS will drive out of B, and pressure is down to GB. They would need to make a rotation, and let's do some calculation here. Oh, we're talking about around a minute to go for GB before they absolutely need to make a push. So not a lot of time left, and they need to bleed ID. So well, they've taken a couple of hits, which is not going to bode them well, but on paper they should have better tanks. But again, both teams have triple strip K, so if ID can whittle down hit points of GB a lot, then I must say ID will have this. But we don't know yet. GB are now trying to make a rotation over to C. And the double strip Ks of Cologne and Victory are going for C. ID looking to pressure A. But they're also dropping some hit points. The hit points are still necking that. Monaco tries to go for B. ID, are they ready to reset B? Now GB, the double strip Ks now come in for C. Fan has taken a big triple tap, I think. And GB has also made a decision to push onto Mr. Insane. Oh, this is going to be an audacious move from GB. 3 flanks happening here. ID seems to be more stuck up near A. Doha receives a big fire, but GB's attention will be onto Mr. Insane with the 2v2 happening over here. Doha is out. And Polrianica is now down to a one-shot potentially. Berlin wants to take that tank away, but he puts a shot onto Mr. Insane's. Mr. Insane's down to a one-shot. And GB needs to kill immediately. Polrianica is now out. Berlin takes out Mr. Insane. Victory is out. And this 2 versus 2 fight, Cologne might be able to win this one. 1v1 fight now. Cologne with more hit points. GB with all 3 caps. All GB needs to do is to survive. They don't have the hit point pool advantage. They need to stay alive as much as they could. 4 versus 4 now. Tokyo down to 1-shot. Cologne trying to trample onto Ben, but he might have got himself stuck. It's down to 1-shot. And GB have 925, 35 cap points. Strashny is stuck. But Monaco is still reloading. Strashny bounces. Monaco, he needs to carry on to Strashny. It's now 2 versus 2. And GB got all 1,000 cap points, and it has been proven effective as GB got all 3 caps. Well done to GB. Very daring call to push onto 3 sides at the same time. And the numbers, I would not complain about numbers. Numbers I think are good. Like I think the numbers are great. Like 2 tanks on C, like 2 tanks near B, and 3 other tanks near A. I think I could not have asked any better. Great crossfire from GB as well. Hit points actually are in favor of ID for a majority of this fight, but GB were able to take the tanks out more quickly in the end, in the late game. Although ID also have the the gun advantage. The most important thing, GB with the cap lead. All 3 caps captured. That put a lot of pressure onto ID to hurry up with the kills. That brings the scoreline to 3-2. Match point to GB now. The scoreline to 3-2. Will GB bring all the way to the end? Will ID win another one to bring it to a tiebreaker? It's now all or nothing for ID. They don't want to bow out on the first day, just like last year in the autumn season when they finished 4th. But they did not win their group this time, so the curse will not strike. Again, you don't need to share in-game tag and also the ID, because there is no on-stream giveaway, but there is like the reward. But this is a reward stream. You can get rewards by logging into the Wargaming portal. What it means that no giveaway is being done, in the sense that you need to put your in-game name and ID down. All right, going back to the 6th battle of tonight. And ID, red team from the south spawn with GB blue team from the north spawn. Very close battle in the last game, but things could become a little bit more heated here. ID, they need to win this battle in order to stand a chance. Will we see a tiebreaker? Let's find out now. Blue team GB from the north spawn. An ID red team from the south. GB will send most of the tanks over to A. As well as ID, I think we could see a big brawl happening near A. And Cologne. Spot of Mr. Insane and Fan. Big shots onto Fan from Cologne. Victory missed the shot. Doha cannot put a shot in just yet. But Cologne takes one from Campon. So in terms of trading, both teams traded relatively equally, but Polrianica is going to be near C without any trouble at all. Monaco goes to this position to prevent ID from getting B. It's a cover position. But it might be slow to react when ID decides to push on it. With A being captured by Team ID, GB would not have C as well, because Polrianica will get C without anyone resetting him. So GB is now making a call to push onto A. This is going to be a tough push. They are losing hit points in making this push. But Fan might be isolated. Berlin's now very low. He's now trying to drive back and save. It's all about hit point push sharing for GB. Tokyo's now focused for ID, but Fan is down to a one-shot. He needs Rome tries to put a big one onto Mr. Insane, but Fan has been killed by Tokyo. This has descended into pandemonium. Rome is going for LDS. GV are looking for LDS, and there's an ammo rack there. 5 versus 7. It's looking very good for GV. Tokyo is out, and it's now 5 versus 6. ID can they make a comeback? They need the focus fire. Mr. Insane is now out. GV can smell victory in proximity, but victory's down to one shot. Cameron 1 versus 1 against Monaco. Maybe he will get some support, but it's now a 4 versus 5. But Object 907 has been taken out, meaning it's now 3 versus 5. GV are so close in winning this one. They're almost there. They just need to hope there is no miracle from ID side. Campbell's down to one shot. Campon is down. Monaco's down to one shot as well. Strategy gets the kill onto Campon. Rome rammed into Strategy. Doha sniping from above. Strategy is out of the fight, leaving Porienica the last person standing. And Berlin will put a killing shot onto Porienica, which will send GV to the lower bracket final and into tomorrow's games. Congratulations to GV and commiserations to Team ID. Team ID played really well tonight. Of course, a lot better than last season. Not last season, the last awesome season. And they will take home with $3,000 of prize pool. A performance that ID should not be disappointed about. They play their best, and I know they can come back strong in the next season, but GV deserve to win this matchup. 5 tanks doing more than 2k. ID only 2 tanks doing more than 2k. Great focus fire by GV. The ID are struggling with focus fire in the last battle, and I think this is what hurt them a lot. And GV did really well in the hip-hop push area, so I'm impressed by the improvement in GV's brawls, and I thought ID would be the better team in this department, but GV really came through tonight. And they will find out who will join them in the lower bracket final, and I will be following RISQ versus RN next. So we have around 30 minutes left to go. And it's now 4-2 for GV. And yes, so the next stream will be in around 30 minutes or so. And while I am going to take a break, I will play you the highlights of ID as they bow out of the in the lower bracket first round. So bear with me on this. At the same time, Nomad have captured B and they're pushing on Spectre. This is all about Nomad reacting, but did they not have the cross the lines of fire? Hinter dropping the tungsten shell, but Nomad are missing a lot of those shells. And Spectre is now very, very low, and ID are in good situation. Spectre is the first tank down, and Nomad looking very disorganized at the moment. Mr. Insane is a focus for Nomad. Nomad are now trying to focus on to these 2 VKs here, but Optimus is very low. Optimus is the next tank down. X4 definitely the next tank down. But then there is 2v2 going on there, so they just have to coordinate really well. Maybe 2-3-3 as Campo has now come in, takes out X4, Porienica down 4 versus 5. Nomad still trying their best with the focus fire, but ID simply, I think their movement's just a lot better. Fan is out. It's a good movement, but I don't think the push is. No. their push is not like well together, as TDR is apparently the first tank that has gone to deal with Hinterter, and TDR is now down to one shot, and he's now the first tank out, so it's really not a good start for Nomad and ID now. With that crossfire, it's going to give them a good hit point pool lead. Hinterter is down, but Optimus is going to be the next tank out. Nomad are now trying one shot, gets taken out. The next focus will be Uncrowned. Judgment is out, but Uncrowned bounces. Campon takes out the Strift Ks, and Wadu and Uncrowned are looking for LDS, and they took them out. But ID took LDS Uncrowned out of the way, meaning it's a 3 versus 5. ID, that good start is just it's enough to give them the win. RN again, those bounces might have been provided an opportunity to fight back. Iron Brat Tank is now out. Uncrowned is now out. So ID have now made a comeback. Kudro is now terribly isolated. Strashny is down to one shot, and LDS takes another hit. Now the Judgment will come in to take out Strashny, meaning Alpha would try to put a shot onto LDS point kick shot. Quite low in hit points, but it's a 4 versus 6. It's looking very promising for ID. Looking for Berlin. It's now a 6 versus 5. Berlin is now out. GV, they do not have the hit point pool advantage. And of course, as I said, they are not as good in the brawls as ID. ID are better in this respect, and GV are probably better with the strategies and caps. And now Tokyo is going for Campon. The Optic 7-7 sets camp. So far, ID are trading much better than GV. And Berlin takes a lot of shots. Great job to both Fan and Campon. Berlin's in deep trouble. Good shot to Campon again, but I can't. Oh! Berlin gets ever wrecked. He's taken out sooner than I thought. But he's pretty much pincered, to be fair. And now that means GV has to do something. They're now going to make a push, but they do not have to consolidate. Hinterter flying off and looking for Berlin, but it's now down to it's now the focus for ID. Borelica, good shot onto Berlin. Berlin's down to a one shot, potentially frozen. Takes out Berlin, and it's now 7 versus 6. And GV, Tokyo, it's now the focus for ID. And Tokyo, can he put a shot onto Campon? No, he couldn't. And it's now a 7 versus 5. Professor's down to one shot. 6 versus 5. ID is going to send everyone victory out of the fight, pretty much. Monaco, big shot onto Hinterter. And Hinterter is down to one shot. Toku's out of the fight. And Hinterter is also down. GV, they still do not have the hit point pool lead. Monaco is out, and I think ID are going to win this tiebreaker. Fans down to a 2-shot. Doha is the focus, on fire. The fire cannot be extinguished, and Doha gets the kill. Oh, I didn't actually catch on to this. Orielica has been boosted up. Oh, I love this. I love this. I am sorry I didn't follow the boost, but Orielica seems to have a bit of a fail here. Couldn't go anywhere up. It's going to relocate a little bit. Follow Orielica for a moment. RNG as well. I mean, with Orielica up there, they get a cap lead. That's good.
Alright, so I probably have mistakenly talked over the highlights, so I apologize. But the analysis scene is ready. So let's do the analysis. Let's actually analyze the second battle of GB versus ID. That will be an interesting battle to watch. So let's jump in. So let's go. Let's say what both can do better here. After matchups, ID won 4-3 against GB. So are we going to be seeing another tiebreaker? And will we see GB getting their revenge finally? ID this time will go for save. And GB looking to go for a. So ID.
They're looking for C. GV will get A at the beginning. That will give them the cap lead. But for ID, they will also get B. Monaco is going to be in position to put shots onto LDS, but they have to be careful. They don't want to bleed too much like last time. And shots been fired, but none of them hit anywhere. B and C have been captured again. GB are a team that needs to make a rotation, not Team ID.
Alright, so in this situation, ID have got both B and C. As I always say, the issue with getting B is that it's kind of hard to get out of. So you have these two corridors you can crossfire, and then don't forget you can put tanks near the blue spawn so that you can crossfire from this angle, maybe even this angle. So it makes it very hard for LES to pull out. So it gives you the cap lead, but essentially you might have one tank which is out of the action for a really long time. So the way to prevent LDS to take a lot of hits is to provide support to shut down the channels for crossfire. And at the moment, ID, I don't think they have tanks to do that. So LDS could be farmed with GB not being punished for doing so. So I personally would not go for this formation because it's so narrow and LDS is not quite well supported in this sense. And I would have definitely wanted some tanks going near their own spawn, especially in this area to shoot whoever tries to put shots onto LDS. Let's continue.
LDS captured B. The thing is, can he get out of B safely? That's the main issue here with getting B, is that you can get B, but getting out of B is going to be hard. GB are trying to get into position to prevent LDS from getting B now. It's going to be a challenge for GB to take out LDS. So we have shots coming from GB spawn. Tokyo. Not getting any shots in Berlin Tech.
So LDS haven't been punished much yet, and GB apparently don't have a lot of tanks near that spawn, so makes it a big opportunity for LDS to move away from the middle side to link up the rest of the team to put a tank back to their available tanks for push. So so if they can get away with this, that will give them a lot of advantage. But let's say
This one, LDS should be able to get into safety. Not really. It takes another one. He's still trying to drive back to safety. Doha is still spotted. Frozen has he spotted. It's actually ID that are dropping hit points instead of GB. GB are holding up very well at the moment. But they don't have the cap lead.
okay. So in this case, what do you do as GB? So I always say, if you have one cap, you will get 5 cap points per 2 seconds of increase. It's a bit different for different maps. So some maps with 3 caps, that could be 4 cap points per 2 seconds of increase, and I think this is Castilla. And then for the newest map Lagoon, that will only be 3 cap points per 2 seconds of increase. So it hovers between 3 to 5, never more than 5. So usually teams make the push at around the 800 cap point mark. So you can do a simple calculation. You can just do approximation, just 800 minus 600, so 200 cap points remaining. So divided by 10, you have 20 times 2 seconds. So that's 40 seconds, less than a minute to go. GB do not have a lot of time to really whittle down hit points of ID. And ID are also quite far behind too. But maybe they know this because GB haven't spotted a lot of tanks near ID spawn. So what you can do here, because you have to push out in the open in order to tackle, say, you can try B. I always say don't go for B right at the beginning, but this could be a good opportunity for you to do so, because otherwise, if you push over to the two flanks, you're going right out in the open, and ID will have shots to take you down. But as I always say, don't push on only one side. That's the easiest way to defend for Team ID. So GB will try to push on separate lanes, so that if one lane cannot push, the other lane can go forward. Usually that will be able to distract ID, and it all boils down to communication at that point. Okay, so let's continue to see what Bose is going to do. Again, let's do the maths. We're talking about around 40 seconds ago. So they're jumping straight into B to capture that. And ID, do they have tanks to reset B? Ooh, let's see. ID. Oh, LDS. I'm not sure if this is the best location to defend. Issue here is we'll get crossfire from this angle. But maybe it's not his fault, to be fair. You have this building to your left to defend, so the only angle that LDS could receive shots from will be from this angle that I just marked down. So ID, they only have like one tank of strategy. I think this could be a mistake, because that will allow GB to fire onto LDS without taking any hits. The only strategy is in the air, and I would have wanted like two tanks or even more tanks near strategy to prevent GB from taking control of LDS. The other thing, if you only have one tank like strategy staying behind, you need to push forward. But doing so, they will find no one, and LDS will have been gone by now. And that will give GB both the hit point pool and the cap lead. So, in this case, sometimes the medium tank or light tank will play a huge role here in obtaining information. And ID, unfortunately, I think the 1-1B is playing this one very defensively, so he isn't really getting a lot of information for the team. And that makes it very difficult for ID to decide whether to kind of, stay with strategy to prevent LDS from being taken out, or to push through that respawn. And in this case, the other thing they could do is just push forward, but they will also be in a huge crossfire. So in this sense, GB have positioned themselves really, really well by capturing B and trying to isolate LDS. LDS have taken a couple more hits. Great double tap by Doha and Tokyo. You can see Tokyo haven't really took a hit from bleeding LDS. I mean, if there are like two more tanks here, you can definitely put a couple of shots in there. And there is the MLE with really good turret armor too. Although if you turn the turret armor slightly, you might be shot at. But I digress. Tokyo not being punished for farming LDS is a huge issue in this formation from ID. And Tokyo is able to put another big one onto LDS. And Pyro, and it's a kill. And ID, they now made a move. Their decision is to push back to the spawn and now tries to kind of boomerang their way back. And they're trying to take out B. Monaco, however, is very isolated in the 60TP. As you all know, 60TP does not have a lot of DPM, especially when you're getting pinsel like that. The 60TP will be gone very soon, so GB will lose another. But they've killed LDS, so they can afford to lose a tank. They also have 2 caps, so in this case, you don't really need to kind of crowd in to take out to support Monaco. You don't have to go hand in arm to arm, if you see what I mean. They can find a good position to farm. I think these tanks, you can see on the minimap here, will be farming from this angle, and there is another tank here down the middle, also able to farm from this angle. That will prevent the Strift K from putting a lot of shells in. And in this case, it will be all about focus fire and connecting with Monaco, communicating with Monaco on to which tanks go for first.
for onto LDS. ID have immediately rotated to take out Monaco. And we can see the crossfire, the shots coming in from multiple angles to the Strift case too. But IDF have done a good job to try to take out Monaco, to put them back closer. And they're trying to get B as well to bring them back the cap lead. So it's not the worst thing to happen for ID. It might have been a bit of a miscalculation at the beginning, but they have done a decent job in trying to make a comeback, in trying to address this. Monaco is now the focus for Team ID. It's now a 6-7, and last thing Monaco wants is an ammo rack. Monaco is fully reloaded. Look. But now GV have now kind of contracted their formation, and I think they can do this. They can just not do this as well, but doing this will help share hit points too. So they're both ways. You could support Monaco by going in together, getting really close, and you can also kind of stay where you are to kind of stay where you are to do crossfire and focus fire. But perhaps they are trying to come in because they don't have any lines of fire. So not a bad move from GB at all. And ID, they really need Monaco up as soon as possible. Looks to put a big one onto camp on. It's a good row here. But Monaco will be taken down. But I think initially for GB, they weren't able to take out Campbell quickly enough. So now 6-6 hit points are actually quite close. So there's a chance for ID to make a comeback. If they can get B, that would be great. A, however, is right out in the open. No one can get that. C has been captured by Team ID. So in terms of caps, it appears ID might have a bit of pressure, but GB can absolutely take out the tanks in the middle. It's kind of an easy pincer movement for them. Now it's now a 6-6. Hit points in favor of GB. And GB are now looking for Campon and close down the focus. And I love what ID are doing next. They found Cologne quite low in hit points, so they're going this tank next. There's also Sheridan, which is a light tank. And it's somewhat out in the open, so they could go for that as well. There are 2 tanks there. There's Campon in B. So for ID, they really need to get the focus on point. Focus for Team ID. Who will get the tank out first? And Campon is out. And I really love, like, ID are really trying to connect with one another. Cologne is going to be down very soon, and Strachny is trying to link up with both of them to go through its victory. Although the gun advantage is still with GV, still 6 versus 5 at this point. Cologne's going to go down if they can take out victory quickly, and that could become 5 versus 4, and that could bring a good lead for Team ID, and Rosen could come in as well to take out victory. And with 4 tanks combined here, it's going to be not the most difficult thing for ID, but they definitely need someone back on B to prevent that from getting the cap points with GV. Fan is there to distract basically. So it seems ID are slowly converging, slowly trying to get a win here. Great response to GV. Despite a bit of misstep at the start, but GV haven't really put a foot wrong, but they might need to kind of regroup themselves because now ID have found isolated tanks. So GV on the other hand, I can mark that in blue. They need these 3 tanks to go together. B, they have B, so they don't really need to get B or stay at B. Frozen is quite low, so they can go for this tank first. Draw some distance from Strachny and St. Paul so that they can maintain the gun advantage and the hit point pool lead. So let's continue to see. I love how GB are spreading out their responsibilities. They're not like setting everyone to focus on the same time. They're trying to maximize efficiency. It looks okay. So now GB they now send 2 tanks onto only 1. Good number distribution. I thought we would see the tanks going for Frozen instead to kind of draw some distance. However, they stayed there, and Doha wants to go for Mr. Insane. Now this could be a win issue because victory is quite low, 5 versus 5. They could very well go to 5 versus 4, and ID the hit points are shared quite evenly. And ID what they need to do is to take out the tanks near B. I think after victory they want to go for Tokyo. And let's see what's going to happen next. It's as if like GV are not focusing fire, but they know what they're doing. Berlin is now trying to get Fan out of the way. Victory is out. GV with a strong.
And I like that ID are going for Doha then with 2 versus 1. Fan is going to go down with 4. Strauss, he's quite low, but ID really need big pack.
Strong hit on Bully, but the guns are in favor of ID at the moment. Fan is out. Strash is down to 1 shot, and Tokyo is almost fully reloaded to kill with Strashny, and he does. But Doha.
Then it's now 3 versus 3, so guns are now even. Frozen. More hit points could win this 1v1 fight, so it boils down to that 2v2 fight. Mr. Insane is quite low, but Tokyo and Berlin still very healthy, so Mr. Insane might have to stay back. Hit points are still in favor of GV, but so really Frozen needs to do something here. Hopefully he can kill Tokyo.
Is out, meaning it's now 3 versus 3. It's not game over yet for Team ID. GV have to.
But now I think ID, this is a major mistake. The cap points are still in favor of ID. Frozen has DPM. I think he should have gone for Tokyo, but I can understand this is like a high stress environment, so it might become obvious that they need to stop B from being under the hands of GV, but unfortunately Frozen might have isolated himself here.
2 caps, they need Frozen out of the way. Great round for Berlin. Berlin needs to kill. On to Frozen, and it's now a 2 versus 3. 1 shot from Mr. Insane Florica. It's a very big shot from Rome. On to Florica.
And it's all over. Mr. Insane's effectively out of the game, and Florica is also very low. So in the end, I think if we see Frozen going for Tokyo instead of B, like dropping straight into B, they can get a kill and still has some hit points, cap points, and then allow Florica to start going for B, and then hopefully Mr. Insane can join, and Frozen probably might still be alive at that point. And I think ID could still win this, to be fair. It's a really close game. I think it all boils down to that last move of Frozen going for B. So that's it. That's it for me. And I think Room should be up now. And we will jump in. And kind of a summary is that both teams did really well in this battle. I think ID, despite having a bit of a misstep at the start, they've recovered really well. And GV responded to this counter push also brilliantly. The issue is, I think, I mean, GV also made some minor mistakes potentially, but this minor mistake is not really like a major one. You can also forgive them the fact that it is a high stress situation. The communication is going to be highly focused, and it's easy to kind of lose focus when there are so many brawls happening at the same time. So you have to give them the credits for distributing their focus fire really well. I mean, this is impressive stuff. ID also can keep up well. It really all boils down to Frozen not going for Tokyo for me. And we're now going for my runes, and let's take a look at this. Alright, this is Maya Ruins, and let's have a look at the trailers of both teams again. Not this one. And,
at the same time, Nomads have captured B, and they're pushing on the spec.
And then we have the intro for RISQ. So Zara versus RISQ, and let's get into the room now. I think the timer is now less than 3 minutes. Good. Timed it perfectly. There we go.
RN versus Risk. RN will take the following tanks: triple strift Ks, an Object 777, a VK90, and potentially double MOEs. No, only double Object 777 and an MOE. Risk will take triple MOEs, potentially triple 777s and a TVP. So yes, my Ruins is a map that is a bit more armor oriented because of the flat terrain near the southeastern corner, but it's also quite hilly in the northwestern corner. But most of the people would go for B and C, B and A. I say B and A. Yeah, I remember that, B and A. So this is why it is quite armor oriented. As for both teams, Risk are taking quite a lot of MLE, so that will boost their hit points a fair bit. But RN will have triple strift Ks. Risk with no strift Ks. DPM is going to be an issue for Risk for sure. But the MLEs have the tungsten shell, and the Object 777 have has the armor, a bit of the armor as well, and it's also quite low in profile. So the Object 777 can kind of use the terrain effectively. We'll see how Risk are going to play with this. But I can't imagine Risk going quite aggressively at the beginning. They don't have DPM. RN can make use of the DPM advantage. But will they go for a big full-on push? Hello to everyone. There is one saying hello to me. I can't really pronounce your name, sorry. I'm going to put up a poll now, which kind of will qualify to the grand final. Is it going to be RN? Is it going to be Risk? Have your thoughts below. You're predicted the correct winner in the last two matches, so maybe you will not jinx the winner again. But we are ready. We are so ready. My Ruins, the final match of tonight. I'm getting really hungry. And I hope the chocolate bar that I had earlier will last me for a bit of time. So red team, RN from the north spawn. Oh, actually, they have a slight hit point pool lead.
Let's go.
I thought our Risk will have that lead, but it's actually RN. Because Risk will take a TVP, so this is why they don't have the lead in hit points. And he's the only one with a medium or light, so this is going to be extremely crucial when it comes to gathering information. So let's see. F-Super is trying to spot whoever's trying to go for C. He spotted no one, and his next move will be capturing C. Fair play to Risk, and RN are still going for A, and some tanks are going for B. The trash is spotted, but RN not capturing B at the moment. Risk will get C, and they will get the cap lead. Oh, good shot from Smoke Potato onto trash. C will be captured, and Risk will have the lead in caps. And Smoke Potato takes another shot. And Risk. Oh, they have tanks ready from behind. Base shots. Not a lot of big shots, though. The strift case staircasing one another, making it difficult for Risk to focus fire. So good stuff from our end. So it's a good start for our end when it comes to trading. But now Risk. Oh, we're seeing a push coming. Pookie leading the charge. RN counter rotating. They're trying to take out Mozzarella, but we can see a lot of HE shells coming from behind Mozzarella. In deep trouble. RN crowding into Mozzarella. Now comes the bait push from Risk. They're going for Judgment or maybe Wadu, depending on which time they can go for. Mozzarella is the first time down. F-Silver in the TVP, farming from the middle. Big kill onto Judgment, and F-Silver puts another shell onto Politics. Now 656. Hit point still in favor for our end, and they still have the strip case alive. And they're now looking for Zong. Zong is now in deep trouble. Big shot onto Iron Bread Tank, but Risk have found the Politics isolated. Sugar is down to Smoke Potato. Is now a 6 versus 5. Zonk is out, so it's now a 6 versus 4. Iron Bread taking a one shot. Lisa looks to put a bait one onto Ploy. Sugar is down to a one shot, and Wadu will take out Sugar and Mugu. And it's now a 5 versus 3. They're looking very good for our end at the moment. Brett Tang is out. Pookie is the next focus for our N, and F Silver is still reloaded. Lisa hopes to stay alive as long as he could, but it's going to be hard. Pookie is out, and F Silver hopes to kill Boyking Shot. Oh, bounces the first shell, puts another one to Boyking Shot, bounces on the Boyking Shot again, takes out Boyking Shot, but takes 2 in return. He is not going to last for long. He is going to be airlifted back to the garage, and we go to the next battle. The scoreline is now 1-0. Great job to RN. And I think the speed really helped them in the push onto Mozzarella. And they maintained the hit point pool lead all the way to the end. The hit focus fire. Both teams have really good focus fire. I think RN did it slightly better, and that really helped them. With 6 tanks doing more than 2k now, and RISQ 5 tanks doing more than 2k. Not far off for RISQ, but I can imagine RN would be very happy about that performance. That is a complete performance. It was so close again, but it really boils down to sometimes the tanks you're taking, and I think that's the main difference here. RISQ taking no strip Ks, and the mobility and the DPM will definitely hurt them. So they are still refusing to take strip Ks. RM will take quadruple strip Ks, triple MLEs, and RISQ will take triple MLEs, triple object 777, and a TVP. And let's see what both is going to do. RA maintaining that the DPM advantage, and RISQ refusing to waver. They will have, but they will have the triple MLE. So they need to get a cap lead at the start, because if they don't, well, they did last time, and they didn't really help the cause. RN made a really good push. So let's go back in My Ruins. Who is going to take home the next battle? Let's find out now.
Let's go.
RN from the red team, from the south spawn, will send most of the tanks over to C and RISQ. Let's take a look at F Silver. He's going to spot a lot of tanks crossing to C, and this is why he takes this position. Look at how many tanks have been spotted. 5 tanks have been spotted. That is going to give a lot of information for RISQ. They're going straight through to A and B. If they can find Judgment isolated, they can take out a tank right at the start, and they can also get B too. And Pookie's going for Judgment here, and RISQ definitely trying to take control to the AB side. F Silver is almost fully reloaded. He's now trying to make a comeback, trying to boomerang his way. He will try to take out Trash. Let's see if he can take out Trash. F Silver misses the first shell, puts the second shell in, third shell also in, and can he kill Trash? On the other hand, RN are trying to make a push over to the middle, and F Silver is still chasing down Trash, but it's a low row. RISQ, they need to defend this big push from our end. Our end are struggling in hit points, and Smoked Potato potentially is going to be the first tank out for RISQ. Lisa takes out Boyking Shot. Smoked Potato is down. Our end are now going for Zonk. Uncrowd is now very low, down to 1 shot. RISQ are now consolidating their forces. Iron Bread tank is a 1 shot. Uncrowd is out. And we're seeing Wadu looking to do a focus fire onto Mozzarella together with off-meeting Judgment, still very far away from the rest of the team. I think they won that 1 versus 1 fight. Trash is out. Great kill there. I didn't see that coming, of course. Mozzarella now being blocked by Wadu. Wadu wants to get Zonk in the end. F Silver is down. It's now a 4 versus 4. RN is getting the hit point poorly back. So well done to RN. Wadu, good shot to Mozzarella, and now Sugar is still very healthy. He really needs to make use of the hit points he has. Mothra out. Off Meeting also out. Iron Brat Tank still a one-shot. Waddle, however, is very healthy. Lisa hopes to win this one people like Song. It's quite out in the it's quite out of the fight here. Sugar's now down to one shot, and Waddle could kill Sugar and Mugu. Oh, Sugar misses that shot. Sugar's down to one shot for sure. Lisa, good shot onto the Judgment, and Lisa hopes to get the shot in, but Judgment will reload more quickly. And Emeralds, Lisa. Meaning's now 3 versus 1. Sugar is down to one shot and it's taken out. Iron Brat Tank is out. It's now 1 versus 2. How on earth did RN make a comeback here? Well done to RN. RN looking to put a big shot on Zonk. But Waddle was tracked. And Waddle takes out Zonk, meaning it's now 2-0 for RN. Huge game for RN. They won 2-0. Wow. I must say I'm impressed about RN. They did teamwork amazingly well. 5 tanks doing more than 2k. That push in the middle was amazing to watch. RISQ started this battle really well too. It's not like a terrible push from terrible start for RISQ. They managed to pull off a good solid hit point pool advantage, but RM managed to make a comeback with good teamwork. And now with 2-0 lead in for RN, this is looking like a repeat of what happened in the autumn season upper bracket final, where RN won against RISQ 4-0. But as we all know, it was a totally different story in the grand final. RN, can they maintain this amazing form? RISQ are almost ready. RN have readied up with double MLEs, 215B, and IS7, TBP, XTP, and the T100 LT. So, I actually will have to give you the next map. Sorry, forgot the intro. Alright, let's go. Alpenstadt. RN. Red team from the south spawn with RISQ blue team from the north spawn. RISQ. They really want to win here. They didn't play terribly in the last battle, but RN's teamwork is not something to mess about. If you lose focus for a moment, RN's teamwork could catch up with you. So RN's red team, RN's the red team will be from the south, RISQ blue team from the north. Let's take a look at F Silver in the T100 LT. He's going to get a spot over to the A side, but both the teams have other ideas. They're going for C. Are we going to be seeing a big brawl right at the start? Pookie. Ooh, going in a really aggressive position. He is spotted, but he hasn't spotted a lot of RN's tanks though. He will drop into C, will get a cap lead for RISQ and RN. Ouster. Trash has taken a hit. Good start again for RISQ. RISQ will get C. But there we go. Sugar and F Silver. Oh, Sugar not spotted. F Silver spotted. Sugar spotted. Good shot onto Wado. So in terms of training, RISQ had the lead. Ooh, I don't know. Wado takes another one. So far so good for RISQ. They have done a good job near the A side, but it can only goes that far because already they have the numbers near C. RISQ are a little bit spread out. So will RM capitalize on this info? But the RISQ are now regrouping, so it's going to be an interesting one. Pookie is very isolated, so you need to be careful. If RM decides to push onto C, you will not last for long. Again, RISQ refusing to take any strip case, but we're seeing off meeting and Boykishaw looking for C. They've been spotted. They might go for a push. Big shots onto Smoked Potato. Both the MLUs dropped their tungsten shell, and RISQ are still doing really well in the trading, but now Pookie is isolated. 1 vs 2. Takes an HE splash from Iron Breath Tank. Big shots onto Wadu now. F Silver is trying to push onto the light tanks. Let's follow him for a moment. Oh, misses a shell onto Tauster. It's now going in. It's a lot more hit points. Wadu still on the drum reload. The light tanks and medium tanks of RN are retreating. F Silver needs to take out those tanks. Pookie's not going to last for long. Still alive. God knows how long he has lasted there. Tauster is out. Pookie is now out. So it's now a 6 vs 6. Hit point still in favor of RISQ. But RISQ might have the map control here, as they have now pincered RN's tank. So RN really needs to start killing off tanks in front of them. Off meeting is now to a one-shot. Look at the crossfire from RISQ. Amazing crossfire from the middle. And the tanks that are defending the spawn have held up really well. Iron Breath Tank is out, and it's now a 5 vs 6, with RN now looking for Smoked Potato. Smoked Potato gets tracked. Smoked Potato looks to put a shot onto Trash, and he's going to wait for that shot. Lisa is almost fully reloaded. Wadu has been taken out before he's able to unleash the entire clip, and this is surely going to be RISQ win, as Trash has been taken out, and Judgment is the last person standing, and RISQ with a complete performance. Oh, I forgot to change the scene. Brings the scoreline to a 2-1. So let's take a look at the stats. RISQ 5 tanks doing more than 2k, and RN only 1 tank doing more than 2k. Complete performance by RISQ. They have got a really good map control. They've done a lot better over to the A side, and I think this is why RISQ are winning. As RN are forced to ditch the A side, as they don't have the hit one pool lead, and sometimes, again, if you lose an entire flag, you can lose the entire map control. And RISQ just didn't repeat that last mistake they did last battle. They didn't lose focus, and they continued to focus fire, and they did some really good crossfire as well, making it very difficult for RN to make a breakthrough. And now we're back on open start, and RN will not win the next one to bring it to a match point. RISQ, a solid performance. Now they're not going to refuse taking a Strif K. They're now playing Strif Ks, quadruple Strif Ks, and VK72 and double MLUs. RM are going for triple MLUs, triple Strif Ks, and a T100 LT. So, not a lot of time left. Open start. RN from the north spawn this time. And RISQ himself, will we see something similar as last battle? Let's find out now. Okay, let's head up high and see where it is going to go. RN are going for A instead of C, and RISQ are going to send a lot of tanks over to C. Let's see if this is going to work for RN. This is going to surprise RISQ. And let's follow Tauster and the T100 LT. He's the only tank, only light tank in this battle. So he's going to be very important in gathering information for our end. As for RISQ, Smoked Potato in the MLE has not spotted anyone yet. But, Judgment has been spotted. Good shot onto Judgment. And RISQ have started this one again better than RN. They've traded a lot more effectively. And they are now going for C, uncontested. And RN, not as compact as last battle, but they are also running into danger of losing the map control. Now RN are trying to take Pookie out. 3 versus 1. Oh no, Pookie's going to be taken out very quickly. Pookie's now in deep trouble now. RISQ needs to do something. They are now trying to make a push onto the MLEs of Uncrowned and Judgment, but will Pookie get out of here quickly enough? No! He's going to go out, and it's now a 7 versus 6. Uncrowned's down to 1 shot. Zonk needs the kill onto Uncrowned. He makes the kill. The focus is now on the Judgment, but Zonk is now very low. F-Silver coming around. Judgment the focus, but Zonk needs to stay alive. But Ploikishore will be there to take out Zonk. And it will be a big shot from Ploikishore onto Judgment. It's now 5 versus 5. Hit was in favor of RN. And things are now even. Both teams need to do something. But RISQ might have a disadvantage with the map control, as Ploikishore is able to pincer the rest of the RISQ tanks that are hovering near the riverside. So RN needs to maintain their high ground. But RISQ are able to get out of dodge. Good shot onto Iron Breath Tank, but the hit was still very close. I don't know how this is going to go. F-Silver's down to 1 shot. Could go down to Wadu. Lisa misses the shot. Wadu takes the kill onto F-Silver. And Sugar Moo is also quite low. 1 versus 2 here. I think RN are steadily gaining a foothold in this battle. Smoked Potato, big shot onto Ploikishore. Again, a good shot from Mozzarella onto Ploikishore, but Ploikishore is going to go down to no one. Sugar is out, Mozzarella is out, and it's now a 5 versus 2. Smoked Potato is now the focus for RN, and the scoreline will be 3-1 in favor of RN. Well done to RN. Lisa is out, the Smoked is also out, and RN are very close to qualifying to the grand final. Well done to RN. Great counter push onto Pookie. RISQ made a good call to push onto the MLEs. They've done a really good job in whittling down hit points at the beginning, but what happened is that they have too many tanks down the river, meaning they have given up the high ground, and RN just need to consolidate their focus fire and pincer those tanks and prevent RISQ from going back to the high ground. And RN just came out on top in the end. RISQ was finding it very difficult to focus fire, and we are now on to Black Dover. Let's take a look at the map. Alright, there we go. Black Oakville, RN versus RISQ. RN currently leading 3-1. The poll, I've ended the poll. 53% of viewers say RN will win this, will qualify to the grand final, and RISQ will join will join GV in the lower bracket final. But will this happen? Will RISQ win 3 in a row? That happened before. I think that happened to RM versus ID, where RM were under 1-3 disadvantage. Can RISQ pull off the unimaginable? And I think this is the best opportunity to do Berlin's pep talk, as I always say. Berlin, will he give advice to RISQ for his pep talks and initiate a big comeback for them? RN only need to win 1 more. And it's an open map, so it's all about crossfire. RISQ are better in this. I would say the positions they take for crossfire. So this map could be the map for redemption. But RN will be from the south, and RISQ will be from the north. And both teams try to blind fire at the start. This is kind of a perk after the 10.1 update, which is that you can fire right at the beginning without loading the clip. And this has been particularly useful for a clipper tank. And we do see at times that clans are able to put shots into one another and get a hit on pool lead. But none of them have penetrated any shots here. So RISQ actually playing quite defensively, and RN are quite aggressive. They're now going into the caves and they are going to dig deep into A as well. Poike sure it's been spotted, but can he get A unopposed? RISQ are going to retreat, and F7 is going for C, and maybe they're looking for B as well. C has been captured by RISQ, and A has been captured by RN a little bit earlier, so RISQ will be the team that needs to make a rotation, not RN. And the tanks RISQ are taking, they are taking double 6 TP, so it's gonna be hard for them to rotate, unless they're able to trade more effectively than RN. Then maybe they will stand a chance, but the DPM will be at a disadvantage for them, as RN have taken quadruple strip case. Let's say Smoked Potato quite aggressive in this position near the silo, looking to punish Tauster if he peeks out. But he's potentially perma-swatted though. The light bulb is still being lit up, and F Silver in the Team 100 LT still unable to find Tauster. So Tauster is playing this one really carefully. Now F Silver is going to go out of that position. Smoked Potato is still spotted. But how can RISQ push? RN have rotated some tanks back to the spawn, but now Wado and Poikishore is spotted quite aggressively there. But they might rotate their tanks back to the caves. RISQ are definitely rotating. There is still a lot of time for RISQ. Good shot onto Poikishore. Pookie also took a hit. Do the calculation, around 300 more cap points to go for RISQ absolutely to make a push. 5 cap points for 2 seconds, so less than 2 minutes to go for RISQ. So still some time, but not a lot of time. And they need to keep on wearing down RN. And they haven't been really able to do that. And Zonk tries to go for B, but this is going to be a challenge. Will RN be able to stop B from being captured? Now, ball's been dropped. Zonk is now capturing B. Judgment is tempted to reset B, but there is Smoked Potato. That is going to bleed you. It's going to be a big one. So what RN is trying to do as a result is they're going to make a big push onto Pookie and Mozzarella. And this is going to be a big challenge for RISQ. Can they take out a tank of pushing? They are now trying to take out off meeting, but Pookie is the focus for RN. Pookie is now down to 128. He's not going to last for long. He's being killed. He is out. Uncrown takes him out. And it's now a 6 versus 7. Lisa potentially could be the focus for RISQ. RISQ needs to start coming in, because they are not really sharing hit points at the moment. Lisa is down to a 2-shot, and RISQ are unable to take out a tank despite having the hit point pool advantage. If they don't take out a tank sooner enough, the gun disadvantage is going to come back and haunt them hard. F-Silver misses the shot, but RISQ still have the cap point advantage and the hit point pool advantage, but they need the guns. Uncrowd is out. Off meeting and Poikishore are both really low, and so is the Judgment. Zonk. Let's follow Zonk here. He's still reloading, but Aaron is going for Zonk. Good shot to Judgment, but Zonk will be taken out by Judgment, and Judgment has been taken out. 5 versus 4 now. Hit points still in favor of RISQ, but the gap has been reduced. Shugu tries to take out Iron Bread Tank. Good shot for Iron Bread Tank onto F Silver, but Mozzarella will take out Iron Bread Tank. Now RN has captured B. C will be captured by Tauster. Off meeting is out. Smert still alive, but I don't think he's going to last for long. Boiking shot bounces onto Smert Potato. RISQ. Waddles has the full clip onto Smert. He takes him out, and it's now a 3 versus 3. Mozzarella coming in. F Silver going for A. He's still alive in the Team 100 LT. Who will win this fight? They need a kill immediately. Mozzarella will not be the one killing. And now RISQ are dropping into B. 965 cap points. RISQ cannot afford to lose another tag. But Aaron might be able to pull through with the cap points, unless RISQ are able to take out C or kill just in time. And F Silver has to be taken out, and RN will win 4-1. Wow. What a win for RN and RISQ. Sadly, they aren't killing tanks quickly enough. That meant RN are able to take out both B and C, while RISQ are a bit slow in this area. And RISQ needs to be a lot quicker tomorrow if they want to stand a chance against RN. RN looking very, very dominant tonight. 3 tanks doing more than 2k for RN, but RISQ 2 tanks doing more than 2k, and we are in for a treat tomorrow. And we begin with the lower bracket final being RN not playing anyone. It will be RISQ versus GV. Well done to RN. They will have a good break, and RISQ will need to win against GV and see if they can win against them and qualify to the grand final. And what a great night. It has been a blast. RN playing really well. RISQ not far off, but they're a little bit slow tonight against RN, and they need to be a bit more clinical tomorrow. But I have faith in them. They can crossfire really well. They can get into really good positions that they need to be quick in the brawls and effective as well. So this has been me, Wild Helper, and you can still get some rewards, but I'm going to play the replays. First off with RN, and then we'll go for RISQ and then GV. And I think after that we should have after that you might be able to get all your rewards. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. They're looking to take out Bifrost first. Wadu, big shot onto Bifrost, the first one out. RISQ, on the other hand, are making a push onto Uncrown. I think RN, this push is well timed. They know if they stay there for any longer, they will lose the hit points, hit point pool advantage, and RN are retaining that hit point pool advantage. As Uncrown is out, and Lisa will not be long for this world. Crash is out, but RISQ have lost 2 tanks. Oh, good ram from Tauster. Oh, Tauster receives a couple of hits. I think RISQ lost the initial advantage. Great shots in the trading at the beginning, but our end made a comeback. Silver is out, and the guns are hugely in favor of our end. They have 6 tanks, while RISQ only have 4 tanks alive. But Wilder was the next tank out. Sugar immediately goes down, and the 3v5 goes down to Tauster, and Trash takes a big hit onto that, but that takes a fire again. Oh no, he has no repair kit. He's not long for this world. Smoke Potato looks to kill Trash. It's 2 versus 2. Oh, this is going to be interesting. However, Tauster, F Silver is going to get out of this. Potentially trapped. Good shot onto Tauster. Tiopa looking to come around the other side. Lisa is the focus for RN. Now the Crown Vargans are going to be on a long reload, and they don't have a lot of DPM. While RN, however, they have DPM. So Lisa goes down first, and Dad is going to kill Tauster, but he will be the focus for RN. Down to 1 shot now. Hit points are in favor of RN. Dad is out. It's a 5 versus 6. RISQ tanks that are sitting behind ID. They have not ran away. They have not run away, which means RN have found Frozen. That is the focus here. Judgment and Trash are looking for Porieka next. However, Tauster is out, and ID could be looking for point kick shot. Hit points still in favor of RN, but they could very well get a Porieka off the fight. Hit points are shared evenly for our N and ID. They will lose Porielica now. Strashly is on fire, and Poikishore puts another one onto Strashly. Strashly cannot extinguish the fire just quickly enough, and Poikishore is killed by fire. And the MLEs are coming for Strashly, and there goes the kill onto Strashly. It's now a 5 versus 4 in huge favor of ID, as they only need 1 kill to win this one. However, if they lose Porielica, they will need 2. They lost Porielica. C could be captured. Iron Breath Tanks down to 1 shot. And this is still really close. RN, can they survive? They're now looking for Fan. They're now looking for all the kills that they could do. And they got Fan. 965. Ryan Breton needs to survive, but LDS will get the kill. And C is still being captured by RN. AB are still under the hands of RN. All they need to do is to get Fresh Lemonade out of the fight, and RN gets the win. Oh, but it was so focus for most of the RN's tanks. Pods now taken out. It's now 5 versus 6. RN, can they ride this out? They now have the hit point pool advantage and now looking for Mr. Insane. And it's great job to RN. The focus fire is great. Mr. Insane is out. Wado is out. RN will now go for Porielica here. And Fresh Lemonade is down to 1 shot. So it will be Ploy shot that takes that gets the kill onto Fresh Lemonade. Uncrowned. They will lose judgment very quickly. A will be captured by Towster. And that will flip things round. A will be captured, and now Wado will get a capsule on C. Oh dear, if RN lose another tank, it will be all over. All over for RN. They cannot afford to lose a tank right here. But at the same time, ID cannot afford to lose Strati. And Strati's down. 994 cap points. RN just need to survive. And they will win the tiebreaker 4-3. But RISQ are able to bleed. Zonk is out, and F0 will try to get C. Lisa takes out Berlin, and Doha gets taken out by Sugar and Mugu with victory, trying to get Lisa. It looks to be a win for RISQ. Great job to RISQ. Great shot to victory by Sugar and Mugu. And he misses the next one. Lisa is going to reload. He doesn't want to fire too early. Waiting for the second shell to load. Now, we'll put 2 shells. Have made a great idea to push onto Berlin. We kind of missed that. But RISQ are definitely having more numbers near the bridge, and they need to take out Tokyo. Or focus fires onto Tokyo. Oh, look at this focus fire. Amazing stuff. They're going to go forward, but we've lost Mud Potato. Zonk, great shot to Monaco. But it's now 5 versus 7. Great push by RISQ. I love that push. That was well timed. RISQ was able to focus fire really amazingly, despite their tanks kind of scattered around the map. So again, RISQ have done a fantastic job. But GV, just like the first battle, was not far behind at all. Now B has been captured, which means RISQ just only needs to stay alive, and they will win this one. Oh, F Silver, you hero. Great kill onto Berlin. So RN's push onto Pookie. Oh my god! Cujo! Oh, get Rax Mud Potato. What a shot that was. Pookie's going to go down soon, but Lisa's fully reloaded now. RN, this push has gone from bad to worse. RISQ just needs to pick up the pieces. Pookie is out. And you don't want the full hit point Amarek at the start of your push. This is going to put you with A and B. Oh, Nikolay takes a lot of hits. Down to 961. Oh, already the first tag out. Nikolay. Oh, must be raging. This is not a good start for EVG. RISQ has already taken a tank out of the equation. So 7 versus 6. So far so good for RISQ. They need to keep that up. And EVG could still have the hit point, cap point. RISQ needs to kill two more tanks. Oh, F Silver bounces the last shell. Oh no, Smart Potato is out, but oh my god, it's also out. RISQ needs to kill 2 more. Nitroglycerin is out. Ram killed by F Silver, but it's 3 versus 2. I don't know if RISQ can get Pixel Rage quickly enough. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. F Silver receives an HE track shot, and then RISQ. He needs to stay alive. We'll put a bait one onto Horn, and Horn is now on fire, down to 1 shot. He can't ram kill Horn, but Horn gets killed by Lisa. At least it's the 7 versus 5. Well done to RISQ for that pincer movement, and Laos seems a bit flustered here. Super Unicorn is now out of the fight. 7 versus 4. Laos will need to start killing off tanks, but no one. As Rooney is going to be pushed by RISQ, and he's going to go down very quickly, down to 1 shot here. Laos, they don't seem to have a response to that, and Rooney will go down to Elisa. Zonk looking for another tank. Big shot from Smurt onto not found. Laos are falling behind in hit points. RISQ, they're holding it up really well. But Pookie will need to start coming in potentially. But he has shots. He might need to go some. Oh, might be in deep trouble. And another big one from Zonk onto Deep. Deep will not last for long. I think this is going to be the opportunity for Laos to make a push, because Deep is not going to survive this. Deep is down to a 2 shot, now down to a 1 shot, going to go down in any minute, and now Laos are not pushing. They are receiving a lot of hits. Deep is out, meaning but RISQ has decided to push the mouse. Huge opportunity for RISQ to push now, for Laos to push now, because the mouse is getting the focus. They're now going to take out Smurf Potato, but there is only 1 tank play against Smurf. Oh no! There is not found a Deep dealing with Smurt, but the mouse is not going to last for long. Mouse is the mouse is. Oh my god, mouse is out. What they're trying to do now is to make use of the hit point advantage and take a Smurf Potato. He's dropped the reactive armor, and he's out. He's the first tag out. And look at GB going straight in there, trying to get Sugar Mugu out. And Victory puts a great shot. And Professor is the focus for RISQ. This is all about focus fire. This has to send it into Doxton, and Professor is the next tag out. And GB are trying to get Elisa. This is the next time they want to go through, but Monaco is the focus for RISQ. And the hit points are now in favor of RISQ. Sugar base shot. Oh! Monaco gets an ammo rack onto Lisa. What's an ammo rack? That is Pookie down to 1 shot now. Not good for RISQ. They've lost an important tank. Berlin is out. I think RISQ really needs to get the focus fire on point now. They're trying to get Monaco near their spawn, and they're now pushing, but they have taken a couple of hits for pushing. Big shots onto Mr. Insane. Oh, it's a good start for GB. And they're now trying to counter push onto Fresh Lemonade, with Monaco now in deep trouble. Professor needs to come in to save Monaco. Big shot to Boreanica, but Monaco do not have a lot of hit points. Oh, a ram here. But will Fresh Lemonade be taken out? I think it will be the case. Monaco is out. Token is still really healthy. It's going to be really close. GB have got all 3 caps. Is there still time? Is there still time? Strash is down to 1 shot. Monaco needs to get a shot in. He got the kill. And now Monaco gets killed. But that was an important kill. Strash hinted down to 1 shot. Hinter gets killed by Victory. Great teamwork from GB. Now Rome still full health, coming for Fan. And I think they only need to kill 1 more and kill the tank, but they do not have the hit point advantage. And definitely not the cap lead. Big shots onto my data. Wow. Great crossfire from GB, and now EVG are pushing in. They're looking to kill Doha. Doha is now down to 1 shot, and GB are looking for my ping. Berlin is capturing B. Doha is out. Professor's down to 1 shot. Who will reload first? Is it Professor or is it my ping? Put a shot onto Type 1. That's a good double tap here. But Berlin will not survive for long. Tokyo is going to stay in the desert side for now. GB are going to push through B. Looking to get nitroglycerin out of the way. Good shot from Berlin onto my ping. Love that he goes back up on top to survive. Professor is now in focus for EVG. Professor is going for dripping. And can he go for dripping before he goes away? He cannot. Early on. There we go. 2v1. Type 1.78 in deep trouble. Big shot onto Rome. Rome drops the adrenaline and the tungsten shell. Berlin, good shot onto Type 1.78. Can Type 1.78 survive for long enough? It's a breakthrough for GV. Rome misses the shot. Berlin, good shot onto Type 1.78. I would imagine Type 1.78 would be down to 1 shot if Rome manages to penetrate that shot. Now Rome will try disadvantage is going to haunt them. Rome gets a kill onto Sure, and he's going to run away because Scrooge is going to get a good shot onto Rome, but maybe he's managed to run away. Oh, Gisela is dead. 3 versus 3 now. Hippo's still in favor of GV. GV might get away with this. Oh, DRX. You need to start killing tanks off here. Negative is down. GV's making a comeback. Can he survive? Monaco will go for C. He will get a cap up, but Tokyo is going to go down. I think this will be enough to flip the cap points. Dorobo's going to go down, but GV needs C. GV needs C. As B will be captured, and the cap points are still in favor of GV, but they could lose B anytime. They need C. Or I won't say so they need C, but Scrooge gets B. Rome gets B. But that will be enough. They got enough kills. GV got enough. It's going to be hugely difficult for them to get a kill. Oh, Biscuit takes a lot of shots from GV, and is the first tank down. This push from Nomad doesn't seem to go as intended, and they aren't able to find a tank to kill at the moment. Coke is looking for Cologne, but he bounces the shot. Nomad wants Berlin off the fight first, and Berlin is going to be the focus for
Hello, I'm back. Before I go and end the stream, I want to thank everyone for your huge support tonight, for following the APAC server. You saw the 3 brilliant matches from the top 4 teams, so huge thank you to the audience, and I would especially want to thank the Clan Wars Asia community. Of course, the guest winner event, which gave another huge success, and really got the community together. And there is also the coordination of team captains in setting clan logos, and also information about the clans. So it has been really useful in preparing for this stream, so thank you very much. As for Wargaming, I also want to thank them for lots of different things. First of all, allowing me to stream, otherwise I won't have this stream up tonight, and I also won't have the opportunity to have my stream marked as a reward stream. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do so. It's just a click of a button. Of course, the provision of stream resources is extremely crucial. The map cards you saw tonight were provided by Wargaming. Otherwise, you won't see them, and it won't make the stream as good. And of course, the creation of this big tournament, the Blitz Summer Cup, you do have to thank Wargaming for that. They don't have the obligation to create such tournament. They have to prepare a lot for this tournament as well. So I have to thank them for making this happen. And of course, the advertisement for the summer season has been paramount. And I really love that, how it's quite a big event in the game, and it's quite a departure of what we used to have in the last couple of years. So really huge well done to the publicity sector for the Wargaming, so thank you very much. In particular, also to Tolian. Of course, she joined my stream in the 4th Recruitment Skill Tournament on the 2nd day of the APAC server to witness a big top 8 and top 16 fight. But of course, behind the scenes, she is the tournament manager, and she has been responsible for checking violation, of course, and also formulating the tournament formats for the entire for all 3 servers, and a lot of important stuff that you don't see on the servers. So without her, this tournament wouldn't be a huge success. So I owe my thanks to her, and of course a lot of the tournament players, and even you viewers should thank her for making this season a brilliant season again. That's all I have to say here, and you should have got oil rewards by now. You would not get any more rewards from now on. So with this, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone, and hope to see you all tomorrow on the APAC server as we follow the lower bracket final. It's going to be GV versus RISQ. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.